Solmanati Academy stood tall, a place where only the strongest minds and skills survived brutal meritocracy. Nozomu Bountas had survived 2 years under pressure, lying under the sky, hiding pain and failure. He arrived with childhood friends, Ken and Lisa, united in purpose, leaving everything behind without regret. Lisa became his lover, Ken his closest ally, before ambition, silence, and distance shattered everything they built. He remembered the day Lisa moved in, her smile anchoring his heart before dreams tore them apart. Nozomu's village rested quietly near a border, peaceful and dull, surviving on farming and simple daily life. One day, as he fished alone, Lisa's nervous voice interrupted his usual silent afternoon. She smiled brightly, asking softly if he was free, her tone filled with both hope and courage. Startled, Nozomu turned to face her. Eyes met, cheeks warmed, and something unfamiliar stirred quietly inside his chest. Blushing and confused, he stammered. She laughed confidently, repeating her question, now knowing his heart was caught. Lisa asked kindly to sit and chat. Her cheerful nature warmed Nozomu's awkward but curious heart. She explained her life, traveling endlessly with her parents, until her father's death changed everything forever. Her father was an adventurer, exploring unknown lands, dangerous, brave, and always seeking something just beyond reach. Lisa's stories amazed him. Though drawn to heroes, Nozomu feared risk and valued peace over danger. Time slipped away as they talked and laughed. Friendship bloomed, and deeper feelings slowly began to grow. Lisa declared her choice to leave, determined to chase her father's path at Solmanati Academy. Nozomu, heart-pounding, stepped forward and offered to follow her, without hesitation, only resolve in his voice. Lisa stood shocked. She asked about his family, uncertain if he'd truly abandon everything behind. He thought of his parents, simple farmers who cherished him. Still, his heart leaned toward Lisa's dream. If her dream required leaving, then he would go too, not as a hero, but her support. Lisa froze, overwhelmed. She never imagined Nozomu would give up everything to follow her dreams. Both stood silently, eyes locked. Words faded, but their feelings began to take root without hesitation. She smiled tearfully, stepping forward. Gratitude bloomed in her chest as she whispered, "Thank you." Nozomu held her close. In that quiet embrace, their promise began. With hope, not certainty. Ahead, back in the present, Nozomu lay beneath the tower. Remembering, that promise still haunted his heart. 20 years ago, demons nearly ended humanity. This school was created to prevent that from happening again. On top of his class, Nozomu now stood alone, scorned, pitied, and quietly cast aside. Grades decided everything. Magical tags revealed rankings. His black meant failure, 10th place, and no second chances. Whispers followed him daily. Students mocked his presence, questioning why a dropout hadn't already disappeared. Insults carved into his desk, laughter in his ears. Nozomu became the academy's living disgrace. Mocked from all sides, he kept silent. His thoughts clouded, but his resolve burned deep inside. Insults pierced him daily. His classmates dismissed him as worthless, someone who had no right remaining. Mars Dickens, the academy's strongest delinquent, towered over Nozomu, surrounded by his followers. Eyes filled with smug disdain, Mars picked fights constantly. Everyone was a target, but Nozomu, ranked lowest, was always the favorite. Another confrontation brewed. Mars stepped in again, cold glare aimed at Nozomu, daring him to retaliate. Nozomu sat quietly as Mars and his friends mocked his broken dreams and lost childhood bond. While the class laughed, Nozomu stayed silent until Mars snapped, slamming the desk in frustration and anger. Mars struck him down with force, and Nozomu collapsed beside his scattered books without resisting back. Mars moved in to strike again, unaware that someone had quietly entered and witnessed the escalating violence. Instructor Enro stepped forward, sternly confronting Mars, who froze in panic under his piercing, unblinking stare. Mars gave a weak excuse, pretending to help Nozomu, while the teacher silently gauged the situation. Henri commanded Mars back to his seat, annoyed at the disruption, and unwilling to tolerate childish drama. Mars insulted Henri openly, calling him a weed, provoking a cold, cutting verbal retaliation from the teacher. With a mocking grin, Mars dismissed Henri's rank, belittling him in front of the silent tense class. As Mars walked off confidently, Nozomu watched silently, anger and determination simmering beneath his quiet expression. Henry ordered Mars to visit his office later, closing his book as the lecture finally began. He explained the basics of magic, emphasizing mental strength and spellcraft, to a mostly attentive class. He taught ritual magic's ancient origins, once used for divine offerings, like summoning rain for crops. Henry outlined 2 modern paths, ritual and chanting magic, and assigned experiments using catalysts for the next lesson. Despite Nozomu's willingness, Henry dismissed his participation, stating his rank was too low to be useful. Henry silenced the class harshly, reminding them they were all just average students with stained black tags. Nozomu reflected on Lisa's brilliance and how her success placed unbearable expectations on his unprepared shoulders. Despite knowing he lacked talent and experience, Nozomu refused to give up and kept training every day. He longed to grow stronger, not for himself, but to support Lisa, whose presence once gave him purpose. But his growth stopped. Bullied daily and surrounded by hostility, Nozomu's progress stalled, despite Lisa's support. Nozomu pushed beyond exhaustion as Lisa remained by his side. Until one summer, everything changed suddenly. Without explanation, Lisa turned away from him, coldly declaring their connection meaningless before walking out. Stunned and heartbroken, Nozomu watched her go, unable to process the sudden end of everything they built. Memories of her warmth haunted him. She had always smiled and supported him through every painful moment. Without warning, cruel rumors spread accusing Nozomu of betrayal, isolating him completely within the academy halls. Nozomu denied the cruel rumors, but no one believed him. Everyone saw him as disposable garbage. With no friends left, more students joined Mars's cruelty, mocking, and even physically assaulting Nozomu daily. Even after Lisa's cold rejection, Nozomu trained relentlessly, still clinging to the promise he once made. Despite his injuries and isolation, Nozomu kept walking, unaware his world was about to collapse again. He silently watched Lisa walk away, smiling beside Ken, his ex-best friend. Ken, Nozomu's childhood friend, once gentle and humble, began rising rapidly through their training ranks. When Lisa was heartbroken, Ken comforted her, and naturally, the two began dating shortly afterward. Though devastated, Nozomu watched them shine as a pair, dominating every mock battle they faced together. Seeing Lisa laugh beside Ken, Nozomu finally understood. There was no longer a place for him. Instructor Henry announced a new round of mock battles and insisted on assigning all pairings himself. Nozomu studied tirelessly, learning the contrast between divine magic and Chi's raw physical enhancement techniques. In Arksam's ancient library, he sought forgotten knowledge, hoping to overcome limits others mocked relentlessly. Mars confronted Nozomu publicly, labeling him trash, provoking laughter from students who watched the tension rise. Despite the insult, fate paired them as partners. Mars smirked, while Nozomu silently accepted the challenge. Mars attacked without warning. Nozomu stood firm, aware this fight would define more than just strength. Nozomu reflected on the combat gear. Mars stood confident, mocking. Nozomu prepared his rare katana. The katana's sharp edge gleamed. Nozomu favored it, lacking magic, relying solely on technique and steel. Mars provoked again, grinning with disdain. Nozomu stayed calm, using the blade to sharpen his resolve. With no more words, Mars charged first. Nozomu braced quietly, sword ready for the first clash. Blades collided violently, sparks flew. Nozomu blocked Mars's strike with effort, showing raw skill and determination rising. Nozomu lunged with precision, his blade tore forward in one clean arc, eyes locked on target. Mars countered fiercely, mocking his speed. Their blades clashed midair as raw strength overwhelmed pure technique. Timing shifted. Nozomu closed the distance, sliding in and landing a sharp blow across Mars's shoulder. They circled again. Blades ready, steps measured, preparing for another exchange that could tilt the entire fight. With renewed fury, they roared. Nozomu struck low. Mars retaliated high. Pain echoed, but neither backed down. Sparks exploded as their blades crashed repeatedly. Nozomu held firm, but Mars's power began overwhelming him. Mars growled in frustration. Nozomu evaded with sharp footwork, waiting for the perfect gap to strike back. Mars taunted with confidence, laughing cruelly. Nozomu, breathing hard, recalled a word, chi, his last resort. Chi surged through Mars's body, enhancing muscle and speed. He wagered life force for unmatched brute strength. Nozomu watched closely. With one final dodge, he prepared to meet Mars's empowered attack with calculated force. He dodged a devastating arc. Mars's strike shattered stone behind him, power fueled recklessly by Chi. Mars scowled, unimpressed. Nozomu's stance tightened. The battle now demanded control, not just brute magical force. Nozomu gripped tighter. Mars screamed forward with rage, but his path was too straight, too predictable. Steel clashed violently. Blades cracked, feet skidded, and energy surged through the ground like waves of thunder. Exhausted, Nozomu refused to yield. Mars, enraged, screamed profanity, desperate to crush what refused to break. Mars erupted with rage, shouting mid-swing. His attack smashed forward wildly, but Nozomu's blade slipped through. The force knocked Nozomu back, pain surged. Yet his grip held, his focus sharpened through sheer will. With eyes narrowed, Nozomu struck low. His blade howled as it carved past Mars's unstable defenses. Mars screamed, overextended and staggered. Nozomu landed a decisive blow, steel-biting, as sparks lit the ground. He roared a final curse, but Nozomu's sword shattered his attack, ending the battle in silence. He launched Nozomu with a crushing swing. The katana flew loose as the ground shook violently. Nozomu crashed hard. Mars staggered, panting, wounded, but still furious. He cursed Nozomu's persistence aloud. Bloodied and dazed, Nozomu whispered bitterly. To him, this wasn't victory, only proof of failure. Pain overwhelmed him. His body trembled. Memories blurred. He clutched his side, silently praying it would stop. Nozomu awoke later in the infirmary. A calm voice greeted him. School doctor, Norn Altina. He sat in the infirmary, enduring relentless pain, while Norn carefully treated his exhausted body. He expressed gratitude to Norn, realizing her constant support as a girl entered. Enrivar entered brightly, her cheerful presence contrasting the tense atmosphere, revealing herself as Nozomu's teacher. Norn reminded Anri about honorifics, but their casual exchange revealed an obvious closeness beyond professional academy roles. Although Norn felt uneasy, Anri dismissed concerns, playfully insisting privacy remained since only Nozomu witnessed their exchange. Anri leaned close to check his condition, leaving Nozomu flustered. Insisting he was completely fine, Norn reassured Anri of Nozomu's recovery, though his discomfort grew from Anri's closeness and persistent attention. From the window, Nozomu noticed students leaving, realizing classes had ended while he remained under watch. He quickly thanked Norn and Anri, leaving the infirmary determined, despite their concerns about his condition. Anri's worry deepened, as Nozomu confirmed his intent to visit the forest, despite lingering injuries. She warned Nozomu of dangers ahead, suggesting companions, but he firmly interrupted, insisting on independence. Nozomu left hurriedly despite Anri's protests, ignoring etiquette, determined to face challenges outside academy walls. His struggles stemmed from first year, when an incident exposed his unusual ability, bringing endless ridicule. Unlike others, Nozomu manifested ability suppression, a rare power that weakened him, instead of granting strength. Though enhancements through items existed, his suppressed physical abilities left him permanently disadvantaged, hindering consistent progress. Despite recovering, Nozomu always ventured into the forest alone, returning injured, hiding deeper struggles within. Though inexperienced with swords, Anri noted Nozomu's technique, briefly rivaling skilled students through sheer effort. Norn observed his body, realizing his potential rivaled high-level adventurers, though still unrefined and inconsistent. His scars revealed relentless training and hardship. Norn felt sorrow, questioning her role as his doctor. She admitted, it pained her to see someone so young burdened, while Anri struggled to respond. Norn doubted Nozomu's growth potential, but Anri insisted his determination showed unyielding resolve for achievement. Nozomu believed something awaited beyond the academy's teachings, determined to pursue strength attainable only through solitude. The forest of Spasm encircled Arkazam, hiding Salmanati Academy within its dangerous, uncharted depths. Though rich in resources, the forest concealed deadly beasts, claiming countless lives yearly, feared yet necessary. The city of Arkazam stood strong, its academy guiding both nobles and commoners through structured learning. Students filled the Eastern District dormitories, where ordinary citizens also lived, sharing streets, markets, and crowded alleys. To the west, artisans forged weapons and cloth, while southern merchants traded exotic goods, sustaining Arkhazam's prosperity. Beyond the walls stretched the forest of Spasm, mysterious wilderness overshadowing the highways that linked districts. Unruled and perilous, magical beasts roamed deep within, guarding secrets hidden since empires once clashed nearby. Nozomu lunged forward, blade flashing, but his master swiftly countered, striking with precision and overwhelming force. He steadied himself, gripping his sword tightly with both hands, conviction hardening his eyes despite exhaustion. Her attacks pressed harder, overwhelming his stance. With every clash, his body faltered, strength proving insufficient, falling back. Nozomu refused surrender. He rose again, determined to match her relentless, disciplined strikes. Summoning hidden power, Nozomu unleashed Chi instant dash, his form vanishing with explosive, magical acceleration. He dashed forward, but his master's blade drew faster. Her sharp strike punished his hesitation instantly. He countered with Phantom Blade, a compressed chi tearing trees apart, its speed overwhelming perception. She deflected cleanly, reminding him the technique's simplicity still relied entirely on flawless timing and discipline. Her phantom slashes split trees like paper. Nozomu struggled to track them, barely surviving each strike. Locked blades, he protested fiercely. She scolded coldly, reminding him hesitation in battle meant certain death. Her words cut deeper than her blade. Nozomu clenched his teeth, realizing hesitation meant certain defeat. She advanced again, swift and merciless. Nozomu barely evaded, dust scattering as her strike cleaved ground. Rolling aside, he steadied himself. Her relentless swing carved the air, forcing him onto full defense. Each clash thundered louder, her strikes unyielding. Nozomu's breath grew ragged, yet resolve kept his body moving. Summoning everything left, Nozomu roared defiantly, unleashing a desperate slash aimed straight toward his master's guard. Her blade stopped short. Nozomu froze, eyes wide, as she declared the duel's decisive conclusion, collapsed yet unbroken. Nozomu breathed heavily, staring at his master's calm figure towering above him. He admitted defeat, bowing his head. Shino, the hidden master, stood firm and unyielding before him. Her lecture followed. She praised his reflexes, yet scolded his haste, urging him to learn restraint. Shino dismissed his excuses, explaining she sensed his weakness easily. Nozomu realized discipline outweighed reckless determination. She ended training, declaring it late. She ordered Nozomu to fetch dinner, her tone commanding. He sighed, but agreed, bowing slightly. "Anything for my master," he muttered, masking quiet determination inside. As he departed, he dreaded pushing her patience further. Her smirk reminded him of hidden danger. Leaping through trees, Nozomu's growth was visible. Shino observed silently, recognizing his gradual but undeniable progress. She recalled first discovering him, alone, battered, yet relentless. Nozomu trained fiercely within a perilous forest. His body was frail, hands torn and inflamed. Each swing worsened his battered, malnourished condition further. Despite warnings, Nozomu insisted. Betrayal and humiliation fueled him, driving endless training, despite hopeless limitations. Shino observed silently, realizing his desperation. He sought strength not for glory, but to reclaim dignity. His lifeless eyes reminded her of a beggar she once saw, starved and near death. The resemblance pained her deeply. Watching such despair in someone so young weighed heavily on Shino's heart. Nozomu stumbled back, heart racing, as demon dogs lunged toward him, their savage eyes fixed with hunger. They surrounded him, snapping jaws ready to kill, his blade trembling as he struggled against overwhelming beastly strength. Exhausted, his grip weakened, the dogs appeared like towering dragons, impossible monsters beyond his current fragile, battered state. Shino observed, her gaze sharp. She scolded his recklessness, urging him to face death as warrior. Smiling fiercely, Shino declared his training incomplete, vowing he must master the sword before earning honorable warrior's death. A year passed since their fateful meeting. Under Shino's guidance, Nozomu endured relentless training. She demonstrated Phantom Blade, a basic technique, yet lethal when mastered, her strikes precise and impossibly sharp. Her mastery could slice iron as paper, proving the gulf between experienced warrior and desperate student. Still, Shino admitted Nozomu's sealed power made his blade sharp enough to rival her own strength. With such suppressed potential, Shino realized his struggles at the academy were meaningless compared to true growth. Thou trained in powerful techniques. Nozomu's weak body wrist collapse, forcing Shino to emphasize swordplay foundations. His heart carried scars, isolating him further, training recklessly as escape from pain and broken identity. Shino resolved to guide him, naming their regimen, the Escape, hoping Nozomu would overcome binding chains later. While searching the woods, Nozomu reflected on magic's nature, sensing an unusual explosion nearby. Determined, he advanced, suspecting a beast-type demon unlike those before, ready to confront this new threat. Two demonic bears appeared together, unusually close, their roars shaking the forest as Nozomu carefully observed them. Legends describe their crimson fur as shield-strong, ranked threats only skilled adventurers could defeat after brutal struggles. Nozomu assessed quietly, realizing his own strength was insufficient, requiring 5 companions to confront such dangerous beasts. Suddenly, a swift warrior descended, blade flashing through the air, striking fiercely and wounding one monstrous bear. Recognizing her, Nozomu remembered she was his peer, yet possessed power surpassing him by several overwhelming ranks. Her sword struck decisively, proving her unmatched talent among students, while the bear recoiled in fierce agony. She revealed her name, Iristina Franzchild, the Midnight Princess. Renowned for strength and unyielding determination, another figure stepped forward, chanting solemnly, calling upon wind's blessing, preparing devastating magic against the monstrous foe. This was Tima Lime, an academy prodigy mage, whose overwhelming magical power already rivaled their instructor's abilities. With immense force, her wind vortex spell shredded the demonic bear, earning her title, Minstrel of 4 Winds. Iris stood exhausted, her immense strength undeniable, while whispers questioned the staggering power she just displayed. Nozomu reflected seriously, wondering how someone's raw magic could be so overwhelming without enhancements or boosters. Suddenly, a new roar erupted from the shadows, shocking everyone, signaling another demonic beast's sudden arrival. Nozomu reacted instinctively, lunging forward with determination, his strike colliding against the creature's fierce assault midair. His bold action stunned the others, revealing unexpected courage as Iris and Tima turned their gazes. Iris unleashed her unique ability, immediate casting, striking the beast with deadly precision, astonishing nearby observers. Nozomu roared with determination, his blade slicing forward as he fearlessly engaged the monstrous demonic bear. But hidden danger remained. 3 bears, not 2, an unexpected revelation that shifted the battle's desperate momentum. Panting heavily, Nozomu questioned his instincts, yet his body moved decisively, acting faster than conscious thought. He compared the technique to Phantom Blade, realizing his hidden strength rivaled even their master's prowess. Despite exhaustion from earlier training, Nozomu fought fiercely, his suppressed chi abilities still delivering formidable strikes. After the battle, embarrassed yet grateful, Iris thanked Nozomu sincerely for their timely, life-saving assistance. She approached him calmly, her sharp eyes softening, concerned whether he sustained injuries during the fight. Relieved by his answer, Iris smiled slightly, expressing gratitude for his efforts in protecting her friend. Introducing herself, Iris revealed they shared the same class at Solmanati Academy, surprising Nozomu completely. Tima introduced herself nervously, stammering before Nozomu, her shyness contrasting Iris's composed demeanor. Iris apologized for Tima's nervousness, assuring Nozomu she was reliable, though especially awkward when meeting men. Nozomu realized quickly that both girls were academy students, their strength far surpassing his own capabilities. He acknowledged their status, but feared rejection, aware classmates might easily turn against him suddenly. Iris's noble lineage intimidated him further, her father serving royalty, her family deeply rooted in Archazam. Finally, Nozomu revealed his identity, a second year from the lowest-ranked class, surprising both powerful girls. Awkward silence followed, as uncertainty lingered, their expressions unreadable, hiding whether they accepted or doubted him. Iris questioned further, suspicious why someone from 10th rank class was battling alone against such creatures. Nozomu hesitated, nervous under their sharp gazes, uncertain how much truth he should reveal immediately. Both Iris and Tima exchanged confused looks, curiosity mixing with doubt, leaving Nozomu tense and unsettled. Nozomu realized he stood alone, unaccompanied, while Iris and Tima noticed his isolation with surprise. Meanwhile, Iris and Tima, ranked highly among students, demonstrated their acknowledged strength within the Academy's harsh system. Students earned recognition by defeating ferocious beasts, undertaking dangerous tasks, and producing remarkable research that advanced knowledge. Among them, 5 exceptional students emerged, each uniquely skilled, proving worthy of the Academy's prestigious rank. Despite rare talent, Nozomu remained isolated. His presence discouraged cooperation, even though survival demanded trusted allies. Nozomu stood in the forest depths, explaining his isolation came from training alone without distraction. Though uncertain about his growth, he declared determination, refusing surrender, shocking Iris and Tima with conviction. The 2 girls silently observed Nozomu's resolve, realizing his path was shaped by solitary effort. Nozomu apologized for his harshness, while Iris acknowledged his struggle, though she still found him unusual. Relaxing tension, Iris smiled kindly, asking to drop formalities, treating Nozomu simply as a fellow student. He questioned their presence, and Iris explained the guild had sent them to investigate unusual sightings. The request stemmed from alarming reports. A dragon, a creature of legend, was supposedly sighted nearby. Dragons were feared for immense strength, granting power to slayers, though most people never even saw one. Though rumors weren't trusted, the Academy still dispatched students, since even low-intelligence dragons remained deadly adversaries. Iris admitted even she couldn't battle such a monster, warning Nozomu that reckless heroes would perish. Nozomu offered Iris the beast's materials, though she insisted he deserved them as rightful spoils. He agreed to take some meat, while Iris and Tima prepared to return toward the city. Grateful for his help, Iris thanked Nozomu, while Tima nervously echoed her appreciation with visible shyness. Nozomu quietly watched them depart, lingering near the fallen beast, his thoughts clouded by lingering uncertainties. Iris noticed Tima's timid reaction toward Nozomu, questioning why her companion suddenly behaved unlike her usual self. Tima hesitantly revealed troubling rumors about Nozomu, whispering apologies to Iris for believing uncertain stories. Iris realized he was the rumored boy, yet doubts lingered, her instincts telling her something felt different. Observing Nozomu's determination, Iris felt conflicted. His actions contradicted the dark accusations surrounding his reputation. Tima admitted her fear, while Iris reassured her, suggesting they could apologize if fate reunited them. Returning later, Nozomu faced his master's sharp words, accused of being distracted by women during training. The next day, Master Shino harshly doubled Nozomu's training, scolding him for distractions and weakness. Elsewhere, Iris reflected alone, recalling Nozomu's swordsmanship, the clarity of his strikes lingering in memory. She admired Mithril, the magical metal, renowned for strength and flexibility, accumulating power to enhance combat. Her sword, the silver wings of the evening star, symbolized heritage, crafted for her unique magic. Quietly, Iris placed her blade aside, her thoughts conflicted, torn between duty and curiosity about Nozomu. She wielded her blade, channeling its ultimate technique, Moonlight Eclipse, her most powerful magical strike. Magic and chi, sources of the soul, relied entirely on the caster's state and harmonious formation. Chi used the body, magic the soul. This sword uniquely balanced both, even against dragon scales. Iris reflected on Nozomu's recklessness, realizing he stayed in the forest despite lethal nighttime demonic activity. His name echoed in her mind, Nozomu Bounteous, an enigma of contradictions, determination, and strength hidden within solitude. Iris gazed thoughtfully, questioning Nozomu's true nature, her heart unsettled by contradictions surrounding his existence. The next day at noon, Nozomu walked quietly through the woods, shielding his eyes from sunlight. He arrived at the Academy's bustling event grounds, where students gathered in groups, chatting and enjoying food surrounded by noise and smiles. Nozomu felt isolated, burdened by rumors and his damaged reputation. Tired from double training and low funds, he made lunch using leftover ingredients from last night's hunt. Resting under trees, he ate in silence. It wasn't great, but somehow, today felt tolerable. While finishing lunch, Nozomu noticed a girl standing alone. Her uniform marked her as an ECLO student. ECLOs trained elite children early, often those born to powerful families. Their talents were nurtured from childhood. She panicked. Stepping oddly, Nozomu hesitated, too old for ECLOs, yet clearly confused. He felt strangely compelled. He approached gently. As she turned around, her gaze struck him, familiar, calm, and completely disarming. He asked who she was. Her presence stirred memory. She resembled someone long forgotten, maybe lost forever. The girl explained how her cat Shadow ran off with something during lunch and disappeared. They spotted Shadow high in a tree, clutching an ornate bracelet. It clearly meant something important. Nozomu inspected the smooth trunk. Shadow stayed perched above. The climb looked difficult, but not impossible. Climbing tough trees was part of his training. He readied himself, remembering past forest survival drills. With swift movements, Nozomu reached Shadow's branch. Cautiously, he closed in on the bracelet without startling him. Nozomu demanded the bracelet, but Shadow hissed violently. The cat wasn't ready to give up anything. Before he could react, Shadow leapt forward. Both Nozomu and the girl were startled by aggression. With sharp speed, Shadow lunged at Nozomu's face. Claws flared, sending him into instant defensive panic. Nozomu tried to restrain the cat mid-air. He shouted, struggling to hold back the flurry of strikes. Shadow broke free, launching a final scratch before darting off. Nozomu lost balance and fell hard. The cat sat triumphantly, jingling the bracelet, then suddenly lunged and stole Nozomu's precious bread instead. Nozomu growled at the smug cat. Chaos exploded again. They tumbled, meowing and shouting through the branches. Shadow leapt away mid-air. Nozomu lost footing, slipping hard. The girl caught the falling cat by reflex. They checked the bracelet. It remained intact. Nozomu groaned in pain, but assured her he was fine. Cradling Shadow, the girl smiled warmly. She thanked him genuinely. Nozomu nodded, his efforts finally appreciated. The girl realized she hadn't introduced herself. Nozomu smiled politely, assuring her it wasn't a problem. She shared her name, Samia, to friends. Nozomu offered his in return, feeling oddly relaxed. Nozomu admitted it had been ages since someone thanked him. Her gratitude felt surprisingly meaningful. Samia's cheerful smile caught him off guard. Nozomu saw sincerity in her eyes and felt strangely seen. The bell rang loudly. Samia panicked, bowed deeply, and ran off, leaving Nozomu alone, but quietly smiling. Nozomu watched her walk away together. His lunch gone, he smiled faintly under the burning sun. He sat alone by the window. Ritual magic began, but his weak abilities marked him unworthy. Hanri introduced the altar task. Everyone had to craft one, channeling magic through precise ritual steps. Mars cast effortlessly, light spiraling. Nozomu stared at his hands, unable to imagine wielding such strength. Hanri admired Mars's dual mastery. Few excelled in both chi and magic. Mars was one in hundreds. Nozomu, labeled weak, missed years of lessons. Suppressed magic kept him sidelined, lonely and forgotten daily. The academy rewarded talent. Those without it, like Nozomu, faced quiet exclusion behind rules and smiles of prestige. Opportunities favored the gifted. Even adventurers supported elites, leaving students like Nozomu starved of real growth. From afar, Nozomu spotted Iris, recognizing her. Tension rose. He already knew who stood beside her. Lisa appeared, radiant, distant. Nozomu stared silently, the wound reopened. A past lover now an unreachable star. Nozomu spotted Lisa mid-training. As a low-ranked student, he never expected to see her here. Their eyes met. Over a year had passed since their promise, shattered under distance and betrayal. Lisa lunged forward with terrifying speed. Nozomu barely followed her movement, stunned by her refined skill. Iris calmly countered, firing a wave of phantom bullets mid-dodge, her magic efficient, fast, and flawless. Lisa screamed as blades clashed violently. Sparks danced between their swords, pressure building in raw strength. Iris held firm. Amid chaos, her focus stayed sharp. Nozomu watched, struck by her composure. Lisa attacked relentlessly. Iris blocked with precision, deflecting blows driven by unmatched strength and heated emotion. Iris evaded each strike by instinct, weaving through Lisa's blade arcs, with sharp, practiced movements alone. Lisa roared, launching a fierce combo. Sparks scattered, pressure surged. Nozomu sensed her resolve to win. Despite Iris's grace, Lisa's speed overwhelmed her. Every blow chipped her defense. The tide turned quickly. Lisa unleashed another fierce flurry. Nozomu, watching, couldn't deny how confidently she controlled every strike. Nozomu questioned whether Iris could keep up. Lisa's strength, speed, and technique appeared overwhelmingly one-sided. Iris revealed seamless coordination, swinging while casting. No chance, no signs. Just pure skill and quiet domination. Swordplay and spellcasting flowed as one. Iris outmaneuvered Lisa's attacks while releasing chained magic mid-fight. Chains lashed, fog blinded, blades danced. Iris pushed Lisa back, fierce, fluid, and unfazed by counterforce. The two clashed relentlessly, neither giving ground. Lisa's strikes howled through the arena like slicing wind. Nozomu watched, stunned. Lisa kept pressing. Iris briefly pulled back, changing distance, but stayed dangerously focused and sharp. Lisa screamed, magic igniting around her blade. The air cracked, her aura flared, raw, intense, unmistakably dangerous. Lisa charged, slicing the air with enchanted power. Magic fused with motion, shaking the arena floor. With a shout, she released it. One overwhelming strike aimed to end it all in a flash. Lisa's attack erupted. The explosion tore through the field, comparable to elite-level spells, almost unnatural. Iris countered with explosive force. Her cry pierced the air as her blade cut through flame. The arena stilled. Cracked ground split between them. Nozomu stared, breath caught, words failing to form. Nozomu wondered why she can be so strong. He felt small, shaken by her immense power. Iris unleashed a hidden attack, revealing she had been planning it from the very start. Despite Lisa's relentless pressure, Iris stayed focused, waiting for the right moment to strike decisively. Lisa smiled calmly, accepting Iris's compliment without anger, recognizing her rival's precision and control. Later, Nozomu remembered their squad. But now, Lisa dating Ken, betrayal felt so obvious for him. Though he didn't know them deeply, Nozomu avoided judgment, choosing composure over emotion in their presence. Iris regretted her delay, believing the outcome might have changed if she had acted earlier. Watching Nozomu's swift technique, she marveled at how he summoned the same attack effortlessly, without pause. She approached him with a smile, but his silent response caused her to freeze mid-step. Nozomu walked away without acknowledgement, leaving Iris confused, her hand raised in a moment, unanswered, staring into the distance. Iris questioned his actions silently, before Tima's cheerful gesture broke her thoughts. While classmates sparred energetically, Iris observed quietly from behind, finding comfort in simply watching them train. Over time, she developed a habit, studying their moves, hoping to reflect them in personal practice. Tima noticed Iris distracted, her gaze distant, and gently asked if something was bothering her. Iris dismissed the concern weakly, unsure how to explain emotions she didn't fully understand herself. As battles unfolded ahead, Iris turned toward Tima, preparing to voice a question buried inside. With resolve tightening in her chest, Iris confessed her concern to Tima. Nozomu's power deeply troubled her. Meanwhile, Nozomu walked alone beyond the academy gates, steps heavy with thoughts he could never silence. Memories overwhelmed him. Questions without answers, pain without closure, strength always out of reach. Haunting him daily. He remembered defying his father, giving everything up, only to be trapped in suffering he couldn't escape. Despite sacrifice and effort, Nozomu's heart remained chained, tormented by rejection, unanswered questions, and unrelenting personal failure. Nozomu begged his master for harsher training, using discipline as a shield from emotional collapse. Elsewhere, Somiya chased a runaway cat through the streets, determined to retrieve the mischief maker herself. She tripped mid-chase, but Nozomu caught her just in time, saving both girl and cat. While returning the cat, Nozomu explained its escape from training, then turned to quietly leave. Somiya hesitated, then asked softly if they could meet again tomorrow, surprising them both with emotion. She expressed her gratitude and asked to see Nozomu again, catching him off guard completely. He hesitated, fearing she'd suffer bullying too, just for being near someone like him. She waited for his answer in silence, her gentle gaze quietly urging him not to refuse. Relenting, he agreed to meet at lunch, making her beam with joy and newfound hope. Before he could reply further, she dashed off, leaving him smiling at her unstoppable energy. Somiya tries magic alone at night, but it backfires painfully, revealing her lack of control. She envies Iris's power, feeling inferior, despite Iris kindly reminding her of her own progress. Their world is ruled by elemental magic. 6 types exist, but only few master them fully. Iris calmly demonstrates light magic to Somiya, explaining its difficulty and the importance of affinity. Somiya practices eagerly. Iris guides her gently, despite secretly being strongest in forbidden darkness magic. Iris noticed Somiya's happiness returning, curious if something had changed in her little sister's heart. Somiya shared about Nozomu, a mysterious boy who helped her gently despite his quiet sadness. She remembered his kindness, how he avoided others, yet still rescued her without asking anything back. Turning the question around, Somiya asked Iris about her own life, sensing something behind her gaze. Iris recalled seeing Nozomu looking broken, haunted by something, perhaps tied to someone named Lisa. Somiya wondered why Iris admired someone so distant, but Iris recalled Nozomu's impossible combat precision. She protested as Iris ended the conversation, surprised someone could be stronger than her big sister. Iris suggested they wait and observe more, knowing neither truly understood their new mysterious friend yet. Watching her little sister walk away, Iris felt a familiar ache, protective, nostalgic, and quietly pained. She remembered the night Somiya was born, their mother dying as a fragile child entered the world. Iris trained relentlessly from childhood, mastering sword and sorcery, to protect Somiya and lead their family. She worked for everything she became, so she couldn't understand the rumors surrounding Nozomu's tarnished name. The academy blamed Nozomu, yet Iris saw the truth. He was only ever pushed away. Curious, Iris longed to understand the pain behind Nozomu's strength, his silent journey etched into every movement. Meanwhile, Somiya learned Nozomu was a low-ranked student, despite his skill, and admired him even more. Somiya admitted she wasn't perfect like Iris, but still gave her best, just like Nozomu. Nozomu saw her strength, quietly admiring her resilience, while recognizing his own reflection in her spirit. Curious about her bracelet, he learned it symbolized her family's promise to reunite, despite separation. Somiya shared it was Iris's birthday gift, a reminder they'd always stay connected, no matter what. She excitedly mentioned her upcoming birthday party. Though her father would miss it due to travel, Somiya's eyes sparkled with admiration, while Nozomu quietly smiled, recognizing her honest and growing heart. Just as lunch was mentioned, Iris appeared. Her sudden presence surprised both Somiya and Nozomu. Nozomu surprised when Somiya called Iris big sister. Somiya curious if Iris know him too. He stood surprised as Somiya revealed her surname is also Franzchild, confirming her connection to Iris. He pieced it together, black hair, same year, and Iris's noble bracelet made the truth obvious. Somiya handed lunch to Iris. Nozomu, stunned by realization, was invited to join their gathering. As Nozomu hesitated, he doubted himself, seeing Iris as a goddess, far beyond someone like him. He hesitated, worried that eating with Iris publicly would cause gossip to spread across the academy. Embarrassed, he tried to leave, but Somiya pulled him back while Iris teased him with calm grace. Understanding his discomfort, Iris suggested a quiet spot, and the three agreed to eat in seclusion together. As they shared lunch peacefully, Iris revealed Tima wouldn't come. She'd been summoned by Professor Jihad Rondel. Nozomu recalled Jihad's reputation, hero of the Great Invasion, whose leadership united nations against the monstrous demon threat. The Great Invasion left many lands shattered, their cities in ruin and people scattered without direction or hope. To prevent future destruction, nations united to build Salmanati Academy, training ground for peace, power, and shared knowledge back in the present. Iris reassured Nozomu that Tima wouldn't mind them enjoying lunch together. A puppy appeared unexpectedly, prompting Iris to admit her preference for cats, despite her sister's love for dogs. Somiya and Iris playfully debated animal cuteness, while Nozomu watched in silence, unsure how to even react. Despite Iris admitting dogs are cute, She still insisted cats are the best, calm, quiet, and independent. Somiya defended Shadow, her black cat, claiming his purring and affection proved cats were irresistibly cuter. Their friendly debate escalated quickly. Dogs were loyal, cats were smarter, while Nozomu watched in stunned amusement and disbelief. Nozomu interrupted, asking about their history. The sisters laughed, calling it their 357th Cat and Dog Council. Iris explained their meeting. Nozomu once defeated a demonic bear instantly. Somiya was stunned to learn it. Iris revealed, Nozomu saved Hima from danger. But he downplayed his role, visibly flustered by praise. He confessed he's the lowest-ranked student, explaining that his powers are severely limited and dangerously unstable. His abilities were too volatile for teamwork. Even enhancing himself made him risk fatally harming classmates. Iris gently questioned why he remained alone. Nozomu admitted the truth. No one wanted to partner him. The moment turned quiet. The three sat together, an unspoken understanding forming amid silence and sunlight. Iris told Nozomu's strength wasn't everything. His survival skills in Spasm's forest made him incredibly valuable. She revealed she knew he had gone deeper alone after leaving the group that previous day. Despite the forest's dangers, Nozomu stayed overnight, proving his experience. In truth, he was with Shino. Shino, a dragon-class adventurer, trained him. Her cabin was safe, but she often cast him outside regardless. Iris then asked boldly, was he alone because of Lisa, or from how students now treated him? Nozomu's mind raced as suspicion grew. Her question forced him to confront what he had suppressed. Past humiliation flooded back. Lisa's cold glare, classmates turning away. Alone he collapsed under emotional weight again. Iris admitting uncertainty. Nozomu's expression tightened, recalling how truth had often been twisted before. Rising calmly, Nozomu chose distance. He walked away, unwilling to reopen wounds not yet fully healed. As he disappeared into the woods, Iris watched silently. Somiya sensed tension, whispering toward her older sister. Iris reflected on Nozomu's suffering, once unaware of his pain, now seeing the weight he carried. Somiya regretted her approach. Iris realized she'd underestimated his scars, facing rejection for the first time. Nozomu wanted to return, yet buried emotions under sword drills, using pain as escape from rejection, haunted by betrayal. Nozomu remembered friends abandoning him. Lisa wasn't first. None stood by him. Hiding his pain, he downplayed it. Eyes tired, voice quiet. He'd learned to smile through disappointment. Nozomu's sudden presence shocked the group. Lisa froze, uncertain, while others looked on in silence. Ken greeted Nozomu warmly, but others' stare remained harsh. Memories of betrayal lingered behind forced smiles. Camilla, once Lisa's closest ally, confronted Nozomu. Her words sharp, reminding him he was unwelcome. Camilla had turned on him first. Once a friend, she rejected him the moment rumors spread. Nozomu remembered trying to explain. Each plea ignored, each rejection colder. Drowning emotionally, he had stopped fighting. Trying to heal, Nozomu focused inward. Yet isolation deepened. His silence only made things worse. He approached, uncertain. She met him with cold refusal. Her words shattered any lingering hope. Nozomu froze, stunned. The rejection struck harder than before. He had expected pain, but not complete dismissal. Lisa turned to leave, refusing to stay near him. Nozomu lowered his eyes, holding back emotion. Alone again, they faced away, neither looking back. What was once friendship now existed only as silence. Camilla lashed out, striking Nozomu. Her fury erupted, accusing him blindly while protecting Lisa. Without question, Ken quietly observed. Nozomu sat defeated. Isolated once again, this time publicly humiliated in front of everyone. Alone, trembling, Nozomu clenched his teeth. Rage and sorrow swirled within, stronger than his body could contain. Unable to bear it, he ran. Through trees and wind, trying to outrun pain and memories. Shino observed from bush. Suicidal thoughts Nozomu had buried resurfaced, triggered by Iris and Lisa. Exhausted, Nozomu stumbled forward, chest heaving. He had run far, yet peace remained out of reach. The forest thickened. His compass spun wildly. Something unnatural pulled him deeper into dangerous, uncharted territory. He sensed distortion. Demonic presence disrupted the needle. Fear rose. This place was far from ordinary wilderness. Weighing options, Nozomu planned to shelter himself. Survival now mattered more than escaping emotional pain. He paused in silence, blade drawn, alone again, shaken. He braced for whatever darkness awaited ahead. A flash of light and echoing footsteps froze him. Something unnatural approached. His instincts screamed in alarm. Nozomu wiped sweat from his face, confused. This barren terrain didn't resemble anything near Alakazam. The sky darkened suddenly. A massive beast with gleaming scales descended, wings stretching across the distant cliffs. Nozomu froze, overwhelmed. The creature's aura crushed the air. Its very existence screamed pure, unmatched magical power. He stood stunned. A dragon, real, living, shouldn't exist. Yet it hovered there, watching him without blinking. The dragon lunged forward. Nozomu instinctively dodged, his body moving before thought as claws tore through air. The dragon crashed into the ground, sending shockwaves outward. Cracked earth exploded beneath its massive weight. Nozomu rolled across shattered rocks. Shielding himself, he staggered to his feet, knowing he couldn't survive stationary. He threw explosive beads, smoke erupting instantly. A tactic from forest hunts, distraction before monsters reached him. Using the smoke as cover, he sprinted sideways. His eyes locked briefly on the dragon's back. He dashed toward a glowing light, his only lead behind him. The dragon screeched and gave chase. The dragon roared violently, shockwaves erupting. Nozomu skidded, barely staying conscious beneath the crushing sound pressure. The roar burst outward. Rocks shattered, air warped. For one instant, time itself seemed to hesitate. Everything fell silent. Nozomu's body flew backward. Helpless against the invisible force that broke the landscape, he spiraled through the air. Below, the entire hill collapsed, now a crater swallowing Salmonati Academy size. As he crashed again, he grasped for options. This was spiritual magic, ancient and overwhelmingly destructive. The dragon unleashed spiritual magic, pure energy not filtered through thought. Nozomu reacted with sharpened instincts alone. Unlike human spells, the dragon's magic flowed instantly, triggered by will. Its volley tore through the battlefield. Nozomu dove behind fractured stone. Spiritual magic raced past, faster than sound, faster than thought. Mercilessly destructive, with clenched teeth and burning arms, he struck back, deflecting light with steel, slashing through raw force. But the dragon rose again, wings wide, like a shadowed god. Nozomu lay wounded, breath shallow. Injured and breathless, Nozomu pushed himself up. Blood dripped from his mouth. He reached for his blade. With desperation, he hurled a strike, but the dragon's shadow loomed closer, heavy with unstoppable strength. As his body slammed the ground, flashes of memory returned. Lisa's smile, her dream, his promise. Then came memories of training, struggles, people who supported him. They weren't strong, but they stayed beside him. Even if judged or abandoned, Nozomu still believed. Their care and presence shaped his reason to fight. Bleeding and broken, Nozomu cursed his helplessness. In every critical moment, he failed to change anything. Before the dragon struck again, a blade intercepted it. His master, Shino, arrived, sharp-tongued and unyielding. The towering beast, crowned in wings and shadow, stood revealed, Tiamat, the legendary Dragon King, awakened from myth. 5,000 years sealed, Tiamat had devoured kin, earning exile. Its resurrection defied the laws of magic. As Nozomu coughed blood beside her, Shino glared at the dragon, furious, prepared, unafraid of gods. Shino slashed fiercely to protect Nozomu, whose organs were wounded. She ordered him to flee alone. Nozomu resisted, but Shino pushed him away. Staying together meant death. She yelled him to run. Shino faced the dragon alone. As Nozomu cried out, she unleashed her ultimate technique, Phantom Blade. The powerful strike hit, but the dragon remained unscathed. Shino clenched her teeth. Its scales resisted all attacks. Light beams swirled. Shino countered, slicing through 5, then 10 more with precise, overwhelming chi energy. Shino destroyed 20 more light rays, but the dragon's endless barrage kept pushing her strength further. With no hands left, she used her sheath. Her chi waned, strikes weakening with each blow. Her senses dulled. Body weakening, light rays intensified, and self-loathing crept in as fatigue overwhelmed her resolve. Vision fading, her body collapsing, Shino accepted death. Her only relief, Nozomu would live, far from battle. As her strength vanished, she realized training Nozomu brought her joy. If he's safe, she's fulfilled. Shino turned to see Nozomu crawling back. Her eyes widened, he defied orders to help her. Shino shouted in panic. A barrage of light rained from above, forcing her to protect him. She unleashed her strongest chi light destroyer. It struck from below, lifting the dragon into destruction. Despite its strength, the chi attack collapsed. Her energy depleted completely. Her voice cracked as she fell. Nozomu watched explosions ripple across the battlefield. Shino collapsed behind the blast, her fate still unknown. The explosion's force launched Nozomu into the air. He crashed hard, body limp, strength vanishing quickly. His body trembled. Blood spilled. He vomited violently as his temperature dropped and consciousness began fading. Pain crushed him deeper than ever before. Blood loss dulled his mind. Death hovered close beside him. He couldn't even recall memories. Darkness closed in. The dragon loomed, his hand clenched, whispering. No. His despair shattered. Frozen emotions cracked open. Nozomu's will screamed against death. He didn't want to die. Nozomu rose, pouring his last light into his core. His will to live burned brighter than ever. His awakened power sharpened his senses. Time slowed. He charged the dragon, focus pushed to its peak. As he fought, mental chains returned, memories of failure, self-doubt. They bound him from moving forward again. Nozomu realized the chains weren't real. With one scream of defiance, he shattered the illusion completely. Chains flew apart. His body surged with strength and clarity. He was finally free from hesitation. Nozomu shattered the chains restraining him, fueled by certainty that his will could overcome limitation. His sudden burst of power launched him forward. The dragon startled by his unnatural speed and force. Blinding motion disrupted the dragon's vision. Nozomu vanished briefly, closing the distance in an instant. Drawing condensed chi, Nozomu unleashed Phantom Blade, razor-thin and precise, targeting the creature's vulnerable eye. The blade struck with sword speed, but failed to pierce the cornea. The dragon roared uninjured. The dragon roared violently, instinctively shielding its sensory organs from harm like a wild cornered beast. Tiamat slammed the earth, releasing energy so fierce it triggered tremors like a crashing natural disaster. Nozomu balanced mid-collapse, surviving the quake as the dragon shattered the surface to expose a hidden cavern. As Nozomu advanced, Tiamat began casting a powerful spell, aiming to obliterate him before contact. Shino reappeared again, deflecting the magic. Nozomu surged forward finally, unlocking his sealed strength and speed. Her light destroyer deflected magical impacts, clearing a safe path as Nozomu dashed toward Tiamat. Tiamat's breath, infused with spiritual magic, unleashed raw energy without rituals. An instinctual, deadly counterattack. The dragon, enraged by Nozomu's survival, lost control of reason and descended into blind fury. Tiamat gathered overwhelming power into his 5-colored wings, aiming to destroy the very world around him. Magical circles lit the battlefield as Tiamat's final spell ignited, threatening total annihilation of everything nearby. A mysterious light descended through the spell's radiance, signaling a divine shift in the battlefield's fate. As power surged, Shino realized the world itself was designed to suppress and seal Tiamat's chaos. Weakened by ancient magic, Tiamat's might now rivaled an S-ranked warrior, still deadly, but not unstoppable. Shino, unwavering and fierce, ordered her reckless disciple to charge, trusting him with the final blow. Nozomu struck beneath the dragon's throat. Phantom Blade exploded inside, piercing through compressed scales with sheer force. He swung his blade instinctively, guided by pure will. As if fate carved the path ahead, he delivered a clean fear slash to the dragon's exposed flesh, tearing through with exact precision. Using the recoil from his first attack, Nozomu spun again, aiming another blow with relentless force. His next strike landed deep into Tiamat's wounds, blood erupting as the dragon's defenses finally collapsed inward. Tiamat staggered back in pain, wings faltering, his roar now broken and echoing with weakness. Despite massive wounds, Tiamat still roared defiantly, thrashing violently to shake Nozomu off its body. With his last strength, Nozomu gripped the lodged sword tightly, and infused his chi into one arm. Chi ability, Light Destroyer activated, releasing a magical blast from the blade, equal to high-tier spiritual sorcery. The attack detonated violently, obliterating Tiamat's head and nerve core in a blinding wave of destruction. The dragon's lifeless body crashed down, thunder echoing across the wasteland as silence finally reclaimed the battlefield. Tiamat's remains began to disintegrate into ash and light, while Nozomu collapsed, exhausted and motionless. Shino called out as Nozomu's body floated upward, drawn toward the energy released from the dragon. Light engulfed his consciousness, and with eyes closing slowly, Nozomu faded into an endless white silence. Within a dreamlike void, chains wrapped around Nozomu's floating form, binding him to a mirror-like surface. He stood once more in the darkness, chained tightly, yet conscious, facing the sealed power within himself again. As Nozomu floated upward, bound by chains, a dragon's eye opened again, watching with silent tension. Standing on liquid void, he stared down at Tiamat, now chained and submerged in the abyss. Tiamat writhed below, tightly restrained by chains of light, as Nozomu remained suspended far above him. Nozomu smiled calmly, chains glimmering across his neck, now understanding the truth sealed deep within himself. Nozomu opened his eyes disoriented, confused whether this strange moment of peace was a lingering dream. Panicked by the unfamiliar face leaning over him, Nozomu staggered back, mistaking Shino for a monster. Shino scolded Nozomu sharply, revealing she'd tended his wounds for 3 days without thanks or recognition. As memories of fighting Tiamat returned, Nozomu realized 3 days had passed in his master's remote cabin. Grateful and ashamed, Nozomu bowed respectfully, thanking Shino for saving him and enduring needless worry on his behalf. Worried for his master, Nozomu asked Shino if she had also sustained any serious injuries. Shino reassured him she was fine, then turned serious and prepared to explain his current condition. As her gaze hardened, Nozomu tensed and braced himself for the truth behind his strange recovery. Shino revealed Nozomu's battle occurred in a sealed world, created to imprison the ancient dragon Tiamat. To his shock, she declared he had absorbed Tiamat's power, becoming a rare and true dragon slayer. Dragon slayers were thought extinct, legendary warriors with unmatched power who vanished over 300 years ago. Nozomu struggled to accept the truth, quietly repeating the words. He was now a dragon slayer. Shino handed him the katana he once trained with, suggesting one final test to confirm everything. Suddenly, Shino lunged at him with deadly speed, forcing Nozomu to raise his blade in defense. Instinctively, Nozomu blocked her strike mid-air, his reaction revealing the awakened strength flowing within his new self. Shino tested Nozomu's reflexes with a feint attack, confirming his reaction speed had truly changed dramatically. She explained how ability suppression once limited him, but dragon slayers inherited raw power far beyond normal warriors. Despite awakening, Shino noted Nozomu hadn't visibly grown stronger yet. Though the transformation still seemed entirely plausible, his strength was being held back by internal suppression. Shino urged him to release it once more. Concentrating deeply, Nozomu summoned the memory of battle, and suddenly, glowing chains began unraveling from his body. Shino warned that great power attracts chaos, status, envy, monsters, and asked what path Nozomu would choose. She pressed him again, reminding him that once power is sought, there is no return to peace. Nozomu hesitated, and Shino told him he had no reason to grow stronger anymore. Without purpose, she revealed that his beloved no longer loved him, and he'd abandoned her training long ago. Shino urged him to master the Phantom Blade, a rare style strong enough to save him. She warned him, the real danger wasn't losing strength, but surrendering to illusion and running from truth. Though he claimed to support Lisa, Nozomu avoided facing her, using sword training as an emotional escape. Shino advised rest, knowing he couldn't yet decide his future while still haunted by pain and regret. As Shino quietly turned away, Nozomu remained seated, weighed down by reflection and the burden of choice. Just when Nozomu believed everything had been said, Shino revealed she still hadn't told him everything yet. Nozomu sat up, confused and weak. Shino embraced him tightly, whispering gently as welcomed him back. Shino caressed his face softly, eyes warm with tears. She praised his hard work. He noticed her exhaustion, dark circles and shallow breath. Despite everything, she had stayed by his side. Their eyes met silently. Nozomu's heart trembled. She had endured quietly, never once asking for thanks. Realizing the truth, he clutched her back. She had never left. She never would. As sleep took him, Nozomu's face softened. Shino held him gently, shielding his fragile heart. She pondered his breaking point. The battles, isolation, and betrayal had nearly shattered his wounded spirit. Shino wasn't born in Arkmill, but mastered Mikagura swordplay early, raised under strict tradition and discipline. With full support from her family, Shino trained hard. Mocked for her gender, she never relented. Her victories earned national praise, honored by nobles. Shino's unmatched battlefield record cemented her place in history. Shino met a young man through her sister. Love blossomed quickly, and they soon became engaged. On her wedding day, a false accusation shattered everything. The ceremony collapsed. No one believed her. The truth was cruel. Her own sister, driven by envy, had planned everything to destroy Shino's happiness. Tears hidden behind a venomous smile, the sister bid farewell. She claimed Shino's future for herself. Heartbroken and betrayed, Shino vanished silently. 3 days later, leaving her home behind without a single word. She abandoned her homeland, isolating herself in Spasm's forest, hiding from the world and herself. She once saw her pain in him and resented it. But now, something had changed. Their breaths labored, emotions rising. A shared struggle bound them, revealing pain neither could carry alone anymore. Shino realized her chi wouldn't recover. Death-sleep disease slowly drained her life, silently taking her strength away. Few recovered, and no known cure existed. All she could offer Nozomu now was truth. Though weakened, Shino vowed to teach more than swordsmanship. One last truth still remained unspoken inside. Nozomu and Shino finally reached Alakazam. Its towering gates welcomed them after a long silent journey. Shino carefully treated Nozomu's lingering wounds, using herbal medicine that encouraged healing without forcing the body. Nozomu noticed Shino's behavior changing. She seemed softer, fumbling words, showing care masked as strict discipline. As they walked together, Nozomu questioned her absence. She dodged it, clearly hiding something deeper within. Entering the bustling streets, Shino led confidently. Nozomu followed, unsure if this was duty or something more. They explored the market together. Shino explained ingredients calmly, while Nozomu admired her deep herbal knowledge. Reaching the academy gates, Nozomu bowed gratefully. Shino quietly prepared to return alone to the forest. As Nozomu rushed off to class, Shino reminded him to visit later for serious discussion. Nozomu was confused. Shino had more to say, but insisted it wasn't the right moment. Alone now, Shino wandered the woods. She missed her student already, but smiled without regret. Final exams approached quickly with low scores. Nozomu risked being expelled if he failed again. Nozomu's vague excuses went unquestioned in class. His classmates ignored the truth to avoid extra attention. Henri confronted Nozomu during break, demanding answers about his sudden week-long, unexplained disappearance from school. Pressed for details, Nozomu admitted he fought a monster alone in the forest's eastern section. She realized he'd faced one of the feared Mad Bear siblings. Nozomu nervously confirmed her suspicion. Henri questioned Nozomu's silence. He claimed illness, unsure how to explain the truth behind his absence. Feeling isolated, Nozomu lied. He masked the truth about the dragon, fearing she'd never understand. Her tears shocked him. Henri thought he didn't trust her, believing he saw her as useless. She exposed his inconsistencies. Her knowledge of medicine and monsters proved his lie, demanding painful honesty now. With her face close, voice steady, she asked again. Nozomu's heart raced. He couldn't hide anymore. Nozomu, overwhelmed by Henri's closeness, realized her beauty drew honesty from him, even without intent. He tried to speak but froze. Her gaze was powerful, sincere, too much for him to handle. Meanwhile, Iris sat with others. They asked if she resolved her past tension with Nozomu recently. Iris awkwardly avoided specifics. She admitted they'd talked, but her vague response hinted there was more. She quietly confessed she'd waited near entrances to see Nozomu, but he hadn't shown up. Her quiet devotion to Nozomu surprised her classmates. They had never seen her so emotionally invested. The bell rang. While others prepared for class, Iris remained thoughtful, her heart heavier than before. Somiya asked Iris if Nozomu could come to her birthday. Iris hesitated. It was personal. Iris admitted Nozomu's smile seemed lonely. She didn't know why, but it deeply unsettled her. What began as curiosity became empathy. Iris now genuinely wanted to understand and help him heal. Iris promised Somiya she'd speak with Nozomu. Somiya smiled, trusting her sister would make things right. Nearby, Anri observed silently, sensing shifting tensions among the students without saying much. During class, Anri actively helped students. Nozomu joined practical exercises again, preparing for another grueling mock battle. Rank 2 classes had fewer instructors. Their lessons ended in mock battles, forcing students to grow fast. Mars smirked confidently, facing Nozomu again. He relished the chance to clash swords with his rival. Nozomu assessed his condition. Though still recovering, his sword felt familiar, his strength was returning slowly. Chains spiraled around his body. He realized he could release them now, but chose not to. A vision warned him, releasing it now could shatter him. He wasn't ready for that power. As battle began, Nozomu recalled Shino's teachings. He questioned if he should finally use her techniques. Nozomu stood firm while Mars charged fiercely. Blades clashed as explosions erupted, launching shards into the sky. While Mars attacked recklessly, Nozomu remained calm, channeling energy through his sword, eyes locked on the enemy. Mars struck with brute force, expecting submission, but Nozomu's quiet movements revealed a hidden feint mid-attack. Nozomu redirected Mars's swing, delivering a precise counter to his chest. Sparks flew, balance was broken instantly. Mars faltered, surprised by Nozomu's technique. In one fluid motion, Nozomu shifted position and closed the gap. He unleashed his strongest slash, but Nozomu blocked it with precision, shocking his opponent and shifting momentum. Nozomu retaliated with speed and accuracy, striking Mars in the ribs, forcing him to step back wounded. Mars attempted a counterattack, but Nozomu exploited an opening, driving his blade deep into Mars's abdomen. With Mars stunned, Nozomu closed in, grappling him down and delivering a crushing blow to the chest. Mars recovered, furious and humiliated. He launched forward recklessly, consumed by anger, unleashing wild magic behind his strike. Fueled by fury, Mars charged forward again. Nozomu kept distance, surprised by his opponent's relentless chi strength. Mars invoked Dustwind Blade, coating his sword with tearing winds, creating a vortex of slicing force around him. Nozomu assessed the technique calmly, understanding its speed and power. He braced himself for the next assault. Mars slashed diagonally with blinding velocity. Nozomu narrowly evaded the arc, wind pressure cracking the ground beside him. Another attack came instantly from the left. Nozomu remained focused, reading Mars's movements with practiced precision. Nozomu noticed Mars's attacks had become predictable. Calmly, he anticipated movements and prepared to counter effectively. Mars grew frustrated as his blade failed to land. Wind Spirit's protection wasn't enough against strategy. He realized Nozomu wasn't like before. His timing, strength, and precision had improved beyond earlier fights. Nozomu, strengthened by slaying a dragon, now resisted strikes without losing form, his physical state enhanced, drawing upon techniques passed down from his master. Nozomu finally wielded swordsmanship with discipline and lethal purpose. Mars boosted his speed with Dustwind Blade, determined to prove himself. Nozomu remained calm, awaiting an opening. Despite being rank 10, Nozomu predicted Mars's every swing. Mars questioned how a weaker opponent read him. Mars learned Nozomu had fought under ability suppression. Now unshackled, his training and instincts finally matched his will. Driven by pride and rage, Mars shouted defiantly, refusing to accept Nozomu's overwhelming skill and growth. Both fighters charged at once. Mars saw a chance. Nozomu prepared. Nozomu struck the ground, creating a blast. The wind current reversed, disabling Mars's technique mid-attack. Mars retaliated with Dust Splitter Ram, while Nozomu activated Flash Step, twisting his path with high-speed motion. His body moved in perfect sync, controlled precision, and balance turned Flash Step into a deadly art. Mars's wind blade surged forward, but Nozomu evaded cleanly, his motion too fast and unpredictable to follow. He panicked, his vision blurred. Nozomu vanished through the storm's wake. The next strike was inevitable. Mars stared nervously. Nozomu turned slowly, his stance low, aura still. The decisive blow was imminent. He reacted too late. Nozomu drew his blade with speed. His window to defend was gone. Nozomu halted inches before contact. Mars froze mid-swing. Their expressions locked as the battle's tone shifted suddenly. The training bell rang. Nozomu lowered his sword. Henry declared the mock battle officially over. Henry reminded them of final exams. Nozomu sheathed his sword. Mars stood speechless, reflecting on his defeat. Nozomu politely declined Henri's request to talk, quickly excusing himself before she could say anything important. Left behind, Mars stared silently. Thoughts swirled. He couldn't understand why Nozomu's strength bothered him so deeply. Mars admitted the truth. Nozomu had endured, trained harder, and overcome his limits without ever seeking approval. What Mars once mocked, he now respected. Nozomu's strength wasn't new. It had always been earned. Iris rushed out, hoping to meet Nozomu. She sensed something had changed between them, something important. She spotted Nozomu leaving. She ran after him, but he disappeared before she could speak. Breathless and confused, Iris stood alone. She wondered why Nozomu avoided her. Again, without a word, Nozomu returned from the academy, suspicious of changes. Tiamat's battle clearly altered Shino's behavior recently. He approached the veranda where Shino waited. Though tired, he asked to study before the exams. Shino insisted he join her. Nozomu sat hesitantly, noticing how alcohol affected her far too quickly. She dragged him close. Her grip, too precise, reminded Nozomu she'd once mastered dangerous combat skills. As they sat together, Shino grew quiet. Nozomu realized, beneath her jokes, she simply needed someone listening. Shino suddenly reminisced, sharing stories of her homeland, her journey to this continent, and asking Nozomu. Their conversation drifted to Nozomu's past, though she already knew. She listened like it was new. Nozomu had always avoided emotional talks. But Shino's warmth, even masked by combat training, finally reached him. Shino admitted her regrets. Illness stole her future, but she entrusted her dreams to her devoted student. With fading strength, she declared one last lesson, a duel to the death, to test Nozomu's resolve. Nozomu pleaded, shaken by Shino's words. She remained cold, declaring the battle real. No more discussion. With eyes filled with steel, Shino questioned, if killers need reasons. Her intent became unmistakably lethal. Nozomu shouted in desperation, hoping to reach her heart. But her silence only tightened the distance. Shino moved first, fast and without hesitation. Nozomu stood ready, hand on sword, accepting what must come. Their blades clashed. Shino's overwhelming speed sent Nozomu flying. Her opening strike, brutal yet precise, emotionless. Shino struck hard again. Nozomu reeled from the blow, shouting in confusion. She remained silent, merciless, bruised but thoughtful. Nozomu recalled their training. She'd been brutal, yet never crossed the line before. Their blades clashed violently. Nozomu blocked just in time, startled by the intensity behind her strikes. Her attacks flowed endlessly, calculated and overwhelming. Nozomu struggled to respond, realizing her precision never left openings. Matching styles collided, teacher against student. Both moved with fierce familiarity, born from years of shared training. Blades tore through the forest. Years of experience, raw physical strength, and skill surrounded Nozomu completely. Shino charged again. Nozomu could barely react. Every step screamed. This was still far from over. Her techniques fused, sword, sheath, and martial arts, refined to shatterbone. Nozomu barely deflected the impact. Blow by blow, her strength waned, but her form sharpened. Nozomu still lagged behind her control. Nozomu unleashed a desperate counter, dual blades meeting force with fury. It was his only remaining option. Pain surged through Nozomu's arm. Forced to focus chi, he redirected force for just one moment. To survive, he had to blunt the strike. Even the smallest delay could mean everything now. Their powers clashed again, sending shockwaves through the forest. Each attack now risked total collapse or breakthrough. Wounded inside and exhausted, Nozomu realized shallow moves wouldn't break her defense. He had to commit. With everything on the line, Nozomu prepared his trump card, his ultimate sword technique, Phantom Blade. Shino deflected Phantom Blade with her own. The blast faded. Nozomu couldn't believe what just happened. His eyes widened, shock and fear colliding. She was already upon him. He was too slow. Blood exploded from his chest. Shino struck with impossible precision, canceling his attack at the source. She stood behind him, blade low. He collapsed, overwhelmed. She had cut without wasting a breath. Nozomu realized he can't win. Shino ordered him, "Release your ability suppression." Now, her voice cut through Nozomu's despair. He couldn't win unless he released his sealed dangerous power. Nozomu hesitated. That dream, the promise, and the fear of losing control, all collided in silence. Tiamat's power, chained within him, stirred. Releasing it meant strength, but also awakening the beast's wrath. She struck again. Nozomu faltered, vision dimming. His hesitation left him wide open to her blow. Falling to the earth, numb and bleeding, Nozomu felt only cold. The stillness of death. Shino accepted death with resolve. Yet her trembling eyes betrayed it. She didn't want to say goodbye. The truth surfaced. She had death sleep. The duel wasn't punishment, it was farewell. Masked by swordplay, Nozomu wept, realizing her time was short. She could have lived longer, but chose to fight instead. She revealed her past, betrayed by her family, abandoned, spat on. Her strength came from pain, but meeting Nozomu gave her life meaning. Through him, she saw what it meant to live. Through tears, Shino begged. Her final selfish wish, to entrust everything she lacked to Nozomu's heart. Nozomu kneeled beside his master, understanding Shino's chose death. Resisting her wish would betray her resolve. Chains pulled tighter as memories surged. He'd always fled, but honoring her final wish meant facing everything. He stepped forward, fury awakened. The dragon roared. Nozomu countered, determined not to let Shino suffer. A tail struck hard. Nozomu flew through the air, bones grinding, blood splattering across broken stone. Bruised and gasping, he faced the beast's roar. Fear trembled, but resolve anchored his shaking body. Nozomu's body collapsed, pierced and torn. Blood spilled freely, but his will clung stubbornly to life. Standing again, he faced the dragon. Wounds deepened, yet something fiercer than pain burned in him. Shino's voice echoed, but Nozomu, lips bloodied, rejected her plea. He hadn't summoned this power willingly. Flames surged. Another figure sprinted in, swift, bold, unyielding. Someone had come, even without being asked. With explosive speed, she dashed straight into the dragon's gaping jaws. No hesitation, only raw resolve. As jaws closed around her, the dragon paused. A strange reaction stirred. Not rage but resistance. Nozomu awakened Tiamat's sealed power. His grip tightened. Pain surged. But something ancient pulsed inside him. From afar, Shino smiled. Her student had chosen to rise. The dragon's might met true defiance. Power surged uncontrollably. Tiamat's essence poured through Nozomu. His body cracked, resisting annihilation by pure will. With Shino approaching, Nozomu charged. Power clashed. Trees split. Two forces collided, master's trust and student's fury. Shino, eyes blazing, challenged him. Her control of the battlefield made every root explode with force. Nozomu winced mid-duel. Her strength had grown, but so had his since becoming a dragon slayer. Their blades clashed as insults flew. Banter turned bitter pride, and temper surged with every fierce swing. Tempers erupted. Insults became weapons. Trees shattered as disciple and master hurled words sharper than swords. Shino unleashed seismic cannon. Nozomu flew back, tumbling. She called him enemy of all women triumphantly. Nozomu charged again, sarcasm sharp. Shino met him mid-air, blades and insults clashing with equal intensity. Their weapons danced with a shout. Shino unleashed chi technique, shockwave strike, compressed energy split the air. Their fists collided, energy rippling outward. The shockwave threatened to break more than bones. Master versus disciple. Shino's ritual magic lit the battlefield. Divine energy surged. Nozomu's resolve burned. He'd surpass her today. She moved like a dancer. Her strikes flowed, with sacred rhythm, fighting as prayer, graceful yet deadly. Shino activated, cycle of rebirth. Her precise forms twisted energy itself, turning motion into divine magic. The faster her dance, the more power surged. Each step awakened forces that strengthened her body. Despite lacking magical roots, Nozomu adapted. Through brutal training, he mastered her forbidden move under pressure. Diligence and calm focus granted him balance. Chi and magic intertwined through sheer will and control. Now unbound, he shattered limits. Few on the continent could challenge him. He embodied overwhelming, reason-breaking strength. Their clash neared its peak, trees shook. Nozomu braced, unsure if he'd endure Shino's next strike. A sudden fall, Shino collapsed. Nozomu screamed and sprinted toward her, sword forgotten. Heart clenched in fear, Shino released Phantom Blade, flash, a final strike, faster than thought, cutting through time and space. In Nozomu's arms, she smiled. Her strength gone. Her teachings complete, her final words began softly. As life faded, Shino asked him to move forward and never stop. Nozomu nodded as tears streamed down. Shino whispered farewell. Her voice faded as light streamed through trees. Nozomu held her quietly, trembling. He gripped her broken blade gently, his heart ached, but his gratitude echoed for his master. His eyes steadied. The tears remained, but so did resolve. He would walk the path alone. A butterfly danced in sunlight. He followed it forward, his master behind him, her lessons eternal ahead. Elsewhere, Lugato informed his master the southern contract neared its end. It required immediate object retrieval operations. The master dismissed political concerns and commanded Lugato to proceed ruthlessly, eliminating resistance without delay or mercy. Lugato acknowledged the Girunos family's involvement, promising swift action and requesting preparations for their formal arrival. As the snowstorm howled, dark-winged beasts soared toward the south, signaling Lugato's mission had already begun. Meanwhile, unaware of the threat, Nozomu barely passed exams, burdened by wounds and staggering academic performance. His newfound Dragon Slayer strength astonished even himself as he shattered stone, effortlessly without full force. However, his power came with limits, 2 minutes of control before it destroyed both body and mind. Despite his strength, Nozomu felt overwhelmed by fear and shame, quietly wishing to flee from confrontation again. At Salmonati Academy, classmates belittled his presence, mocking his failures and doubting his potential to succeed. The academy's harsh ranking system crushed lower-ranked students, turning talent into obscurity beneath elite expectations and social division. Nozomu, scorned and ignored, became the target of classmates who vented frustrations on weaker peers. But standing before them all, Nozomu's silent resolve caught the room's full attention unexpectedly. Teacher Henri Var cheerfully introduced herself, assigning Nozomu and others to the academy's lowest rank class. Despite their ranking, Henri reassured the students, claiming they held potential and simply lacked refined skill use. With kind honesty, Henri urged Nozomu to focus inward, believe in himself, and never stop trying. The school year began, but whispers about Nozomu's injury quickly spread and clouded the classroom atmosphere. Mocked for his accident, Nozomu listened as Henri outlined a strict, test-filled schedule. While Mars kept silent, learning group battles awaited. Nozomu panicked, knowing his poor reputation might leave him fighting completely alone. While others formed parties, Nozomu feared being excluded again, until a voice surprisingly reached out toward him. To his disbelief, Mars, one of the bullies, stood beside him, silently acknowledging Nozomu's presence. Mars shocked everyone by choosing Nozomu as his partner, ignoring ridicule, and firmly standing by his decision. With few words, Nozomu accepted the offer, unsure but willing. Finally, no longer standing alone in silence, Henri confirmed the group formations, and students drew weapons, ready to begin their first combat training exercise. On signal, mock combat erupted instantly, swords clashed, skills ignited, and teams scrambled to gain control. Enemies lunged toward them, but Mars and Nozomu moved with instinct, blades flashing in perfect synchronized response. Mars met a fierce enemy head-on, blades clashing with overwhelming force in a brutal direct exchange. He pushed forward relentlessly, covering Nozomu, while their enemies attempted to flank and overpower them with numbers. Magical attacks began to fly, wind blades slashing through the field as spells burst from conjuring swords. Nozomu realized the opposing team's strategy: isolate and crush them individually with speed, pressure, and magic barrages. Reacting swiftly, Nozomu dashed in with his blade, aiming to turn momentum before Mars was overwhelmed. A fiery explosion erupted beside Mars, launching him backward as the enemy began casting spells mid-battle. Nozomu realized too late, a fireball had struck while he was distracted, forcing him into reactive movement. Enemies mocked him as dead weight, only useful as bait. Nozomu clenched his blade, silently resisting defeat. Dodging spellfire and sword strikes, Nozomu countered instinctively, blade flashing while staying aware of encroaching attackers' flanks. Surrounded, Nozomu fought defensively under pressure from all sides, struggling to hold off attackers and avoid friendly fire. Nozomu unleashed a wide, sweeping strike, knocking enemies back, before quickly repositioning to avoid arrows and fireballs. In a stunning clash, Nozomu countered mid-air, striking with precision and knocking opponents down with raw momentum. As the battle shifted, Nozomu sensed danger, an ambush forming, while injured fighters limped away from combat. Mars re-entered the field, bursting forward with overwhelming force, his charge leaving enemies scrambling and unprepared for retaliation. Weapons fell to the ground. Mars stood victorious, having single-handedly defeated the remaining foes in seconds. Nozomu narrowly evaded a lethal strike using Flash Step, realizing his reflexes had sharpened through battle. His fierce glare silenced the crowd. Even Mars and others froze, startled by Nozomu's unwavering intensity. As his presence grew heavier, classmates instinctively backed away, unable to match the pressure in his gaze. Reflecting quietly, Nozomu realized Mars's actions weren't random. He'd changed, showing purpose and respect rarely seen before. While others moved on, Mars silently acknowledged Nozomu's growth, sensing that something inside him had genuinely shifted. Mars watched closely, realizing Nozomu had trained alone in secret, mastering survival through relentless forest battles. Nozomu left the dorm unnoticed, but sensed he was being watched despite no one intervening. In the crowded city, paranoia grew. Nozomu feared his Dragon Slayer identity had been discovered. Realizing pursuit was likely, he decided to draw the follower out before reaching his master. From above, a hidden figure silently observed the town, locking eyes on Nozomu's cautious movements. Nozomu stood alone by the outer wall, ready to confront whoever dared stalk him this far. Nozomu turned, meeting Mars's cold gaze. The stalker had revealed himself, just as expected. Mars confronted Nozomu directly, asking his motives. Nozomu demanded to know why Mars was following him. Without warning, Mars dashed forward. Nozomu blocked his blade, caught off guard by the sudden attack. Swords clashed violently, neither held back. The courtyard ringing with steel and tension, neither fully understood. Mars claimed he only wanted answers. Nozomu shouted back, questioning why Mars had drawn first. Nozomu's attacks were disciplined and deliberate. Mars noticed his technique-focused power through precise movements from the waist. Mars adjusted, observing Nozomu's fluid rhythm. Every slash flowed into the next with relentless momentum and timing. Mars countered forcefully, but Nozomu dashed past his blade, striking hard and knocking Mars off balance completely. In close range, Nozomu evaded swiftly. Mars's sword missed, and Nozomu repositioned to strike from behind, gathering wind chi into his fist. Nozomu launched Wind Blast Strike, sending Mars flying with explosive force. Nozomu unleashed the full force of his Wind Blast. Mars barely recovered, sliding back, sword raised warily. Despite greater strength, Mars couldn't land a hit. Nozomu's precise control and defense reversed the battle's flow. Mars stared in awe. Nozomu had trained while suppressed, improving purely through technique, not raw ability or power. Realizing his own limits, Mars acknowledged Nozomu's strength. Determined, he vowed to become stronger himself, much stronger. As the fight ended, Mars asked about Nozomu's training. Nozomu only replied that the person had gone. Mars learned his brutal training included live combat, dangerous beasts, and lethal sparring passed as mock battles. Mars acknowledged Nozomu's precision, and judgment came from that intense training. Nozomu credited it to his master. Years of punishing drills had conditioned Nozomu's instincts. He mastered survival, reaction, and decision under constant threat. Nozomu's frustration boiled over. He demanded the truth, why Mars followed him, and escalated into a real fight. Mars hesitated, caught off guard. Nozomu's glare pierced through his excuses, forcing him to confront his intentions. A girl stormed in, yelling at Mars. Nozomu stood confused as sibling chaos erupted without warning. Mars's little sister accused Mars of shaking someone down. Mars denied it, but her suspicions remained. She unleashed a rapid-fire lecture. Nozomu stood silent as Mars took verbal fire for past misdeeds. Nozomu tried to calm things. The girl vented everything. From horse trauma to being banned from favorite shops. Finally introducing herself, Nozomu learned her name, Aina Dickens, Mars's dramatic and absolutely unfiltered younger sister. Aina insisted on inviting Nozomu to their inn, hoping to apologize for her brother's behavior. After some hesitation, Nozomu agreed to visit the inn called Bull Head, curious but cautious. Inside the inn, Aina greeted a woman named Hana and briefly explained her brother's latest mischief. Hana welcomed Nozomu kindly, apologizing for her son, and offering a home-cooked dinner in return. As Aina brought water, Mars was dragged away for punishment, while Nozomu waited silently and observantly. Nozomu was served the house special as Aina brought water, while Hana quietly returned to cooking. A massive rabbit steak with salad was presented, offered sincerely as apology for Mars's earlier troublemaking. After finishing every bite, Nozomu thanked them warmly. Aina was asked to assist with the dishes. Outside, Hana stopped Nozomu for a private question about his impression of both Mars and Aina. Nozomu admitted Mars disliked him openly, but noted Aina seemed kind-hearted and likely mirrored her brother's traits. Hana noticed Mars's behavior shifting lately, and suggested he hadn't objected to Nozomu's visit this time. She believed Mars wanted friendship, but struggled with pride and lacked the words to truly apologize. Elsewhere, Mars received scolding from his foster father, who questioned if Mars understood his own actions. The foster father confronted Mars directly, implying his odd behavior came from losing a fight recently. Mars denied it angrily, revealing his frustration stemmed from curiosity about Nozomu's strength, not merely from defeat. He believed Nozomu must hate him, and felt too ashamed to ask him anything directly now. His foster father mocked his pride, reminding him that setbacks always made him sulk and retreat inward. Beneath his frustration, Mars still carried grief from childhood loss, opening his heart only to family until now. Grateful for Nozomu's visit, the innkeeper encouraged Mars to apologize properly and not waste this new chance. Walking side by side, Mars quietly muttered an apology, finally lowering his guard for the very first time. For the first time Mars brought someone home, Nozomu, and faced him with sincere vulnerability and silence. Nozomu reflected on Mars's past actions, recognizing the pain he hides to protect his family's peace. Despite their awkward history, laughter broke tension between them. An unspoken friendship finally began to take shape. Mars and Nozomu, once tense rivals, now eat peacefully. Anri beams proudly, relieved by their friendship. Both boys end up in the infirmary. Their silent presence shows a shift from conflict to camaraderie. The classroom feels different. Mars's allies avoid trouble now, and students stop harassing Nozomu out of fear. Training brings them closer. Antri seems unusually cheerful. Even Norn acknowledges Mars's growing interest in meaningful change. Norn reminds Mars of his past hostility. He's confused, but deep down knows his attitude has evolved. Anri praised Mars for self-reflection. Her calm words reminded him he had truly begun to change. Nozomu silently noted how observant Anri always was with students. As they talked casually, someone entered. Iris entered the infirmary with a patient. Her sudden appearance caught everyone off guard, especially Nozomu. Nozomu recognized Iris immediately. She greeted him warmly, her calm demeanor stirring memories buried within his heart. Mars and Nozomu stiffened at Iris's presence. Anri noticed something odd. She and Mars confronted Nozomu. Nozomu panicked as questions rose. Anri recognized Iris. Mars quietly admitted he might have angered her. Nozomu recalled the moment he left Iris behind. He wondered if she still held resentment. Iris finally saw Nozomu again. Her happiness overflowed, despite accidentally making him nervous with her approach. The injured girl was laid down. Nozomu explained her injury came from a magic training mishap. Norn assessed the wound calmly. She prepared medicine and magic, relieved the bones were still intact. As Anri healed the wound, Nozomu noticed Tima watching. She immediately hid behind Iris. Mars suddenly flared with anger. The atmosphere darkened. Everyone grew quiet as he struggled to hide frustration. Mars couldn't accept a weaker girl ranking above him. Tima trembled, terrified by his cold glare. Iris escorted the injured student out with care. Nozomu was surprised by her respectful involvement again. Iris thanked Nozomu calmly then. With curiosity in her eyes, she requested to ask him something personal. Iris requested privacy. Norn suggested the storage room inside. Iris quietly told Nozomu she wanted honesty. Iris apologized for past rudeness during lunch. Nozomu panicked, admitting his own poor reaction and mistakes. Tima stepped forward nervously. She recalled the forest incident and sincerely apologized for her unfair treatment. Nozomu accepted her apology warmly. Iris explained Tima's fear of men, worsened by rumors about Nozomu. Nozomu reflected deeply, remembering his past and the truths he avoided stirred unresolved pain and awareness. His heart tightened as Iris questioned him. He realized he was still avoiding truths within himself. Returning to the others, Iris asked for introductions. Nozomu introduced Mars and Enri, bridging both groups. Mars's rough demeanor clashed with Iris's calm gaze. Tima shrank back as tension quietly filled the room. His glare turned fierce. Nozomu shouted his name, but frustration boiled over, and Mars stormed out silently. As silence settled, Iris mentioned Somia's birthday. The reminder shifted attention from anger to a shared memory. Iris explained that Somia invited Nozomu. Though unsure about nobles, Iris warmly insisted he should attend. She assured him it was fine. Nozomu accepted, knowing Somia would be thrilled to see him. Iris turned to Mars. She asked gently, shocking everyone. Mars wasn't expecting to be included. Mars reacted stubbornly. Surprised Tima. He claimed no connection to Somia, dismissing the idea of joining. Iris responded with poise. She acknowledged rumors and called Mars by name, confronting him with dignity. She challenged Mars with blunt honesty, comparing reputations. Her logic questioned why she dined with misfits. Despite her critique, Iris admitted Mars might be reasonable. Her sharp insight caught him completely off guard. She labeled him a stray dog, lonely, easy to read. The confrontation made Nozomu surprised. Mars snapped back, irritated. Iris calmly explained social survival required tact. She offered him a choice. Iris extended a warm offer. She promised care and good food, if they both chose to attend. Nozomu asked if Mars would attend. Mars refused loudly, but his lingering anger at Tima remained. Mars couldn't understand strength paired with fear. Norn explained that great power often makes people fear themselves. Tima hinted at past trauma. Nozomu thought about how strength, when uncontrolled, can become a silent burden. As a door creaked open, Nozomu recalled a scene, destruction left behind by uncontrollable magical force. Nozomu pondered what to give Somia. Recalling her joy, he considered finding that cherished bracelet again. He gathered old parts and tools. Inspired, he began crafting a gift from sentimental, salvaged materials. His first version broke easily. Disappointed but not discouraged, he examined the flaws and started again. Several days later, Nozomu, Mars and Enna stood before the estate gates, unsure if they were ready. Before leaving, Nozomu gave it another try. Under moonlight, he forged with greater focus and care. Reaching the mansion, they were awestruck. Somia's family home was massive, a world apart from theirs. Ina learned Mars mistreated Tima. Without hesitation, she stormed into the inn, fists clenched with rage. Overcome by emotion, Ina beating Mars. She'd come too, determined to ensure he truly apologized publicly. The next day, the three had arrived. Nozomu noticed Mars's strange expression, but he brushed it off. Their loud argument attracted attention, forcing them to settle down as staff and onlookers watched in disbelief. The maid hesitated, but Iris appeared and assured the gatekeeper to let her friends pass. Outside, Ina and Mars still debated. Iris opened the gate herself, refusing to let her invites be rejected. With tensions broken, the group burst in. Embarrassed, she laughed while introductions between friends began warmly. Nozomu introduced Ina to everyone. Iris and Tima welcomed her, each offering kind and respectful greetings. Excitedly, Ina confirmed Tima's identity with surprise. She apologized for his brother's rudeness, but Tima forgave him. Mars and Enna argued fiercely, their voices clashing. Nozomu tried calming them before things escalated again. Their bickering ended abruptly when Iris burst into uncontrollable laughter, stunning everyone with her sudden reaction. Iris wiped tears from laughing, teasingly noting how close Mars and Ina must be to argue. Passionately, Mars invited Ina to Somia's party. She hesitated, feeling underdressed and unsure about attending. Mars reassured her with a shared gift Ina chose and he funded, making it from them both. Ina accepted the invitation shyly. Iris smiled gently, leading her toward the mansion with comforting confidence. At the entrance, a guard requested their swords. They complied. Stepping inside the grand and lavish estate, Iris introduced the dazzling hall. The group stared in awe, overwhelmed by the elegance of the venue. While the party awaited its start, they admired decorations, food, and the grandeur surrounding the chandelier-lit hall. The group entered the ballroom, joining other guests. Conversations buzzed as the party atmosphere gently began to bloom. The banquet table was beautifully arranged, and Somiya joyfully welcomed her guests, smiling beside her big sister. Iris gracefully caught Somiya as she ran into her arms. Their emotional hug drew heartfelt attention nearby. Iris thanked everyone warmly for attending Somiya's birthday, encouraging them to relax and enjoy the special day. Anna praised the food, amazed by its richness. Mars and Nozomu struggled to hide how impressed they were. Somiya greeted Nozomu cheerfully. He returned the smile, offering birthday wishes as Iris watched quietly beside her. The birthday girl beamed with joy, thanking everyone for coming. Her cheerful spirit filled the room with warmth. Curious, she turned to Nozomu for their names. Introductions continued as Somiya met Mars and Enna. Somiya sweetly accepted Enna's greeting. Even when Mars acted casually, she remained kind and easygoing toward everyone. While others mingled, Iris asked if Nozomu was enjoying himself. Timon nervously reminded them they were partying. Nozomu admired Iris as they watched Somiya. The party was chaotic, but full of sincere, joyful moments. Iris noticed his flustered silence and asked gently. He nervously denied it, clearly hiding his emotions. Leaning close, Iris teased Nozomu about his gift. Caught off guard, he blushed and stumbled over words. Nozomu admitted the gift was ready. Iris thanked him quietly, asking him to deliver it later. The hall buzzed with laughter and chatter. Nozomu watched the others, reflecting on the lively gathering. He turned to Iris and thanked her sincerely for everything. She smiled, hearing the honesty in his voice. Somiya's birthday brought rare joy. Her smile warmed the room, masking pain only Iris truly noticed. Iris, burdened by memory, had tried replacing Somiya's lost mother, yet sorrow lingered beneath every celebration. This year felt different. Somiya's happiness grew from knowing Nozomu, whose kindness quietly filled emotional gaps. Iris urged Nozomu to treat Somiya equally, reminding him that care, not status, shaped her world. Nozomu reconsidered his attitude, realizing kindness held more power than rank. Perhaps this was the change Somiya needed. Iris reflected on Nozomu's silence. It wasn't empty, but deeply respectful, unlike the others before. She appreciated how he assessed the moment with care, not comfort, offering presence instead of forced consolation. She saw through the rumors, sensing his heart remained tethered to someone he hadn't yet released. Nozomu hesitated, unsure of her meaning, but Iris stood firm. Her instincts had rarely led her wrong. Their eyes met, neither spoke clearly, yet something clicked between them: understanding, trust, and perhaps something more. Tension spiked at the party. Somiya burst into tears as heated arguments overshadowed her special day. Nozomu and Iris stepped in. Mars's behavior required handling, but an unexpected guest arrived outside. The maid firmly blocked the late visitor. Bound by duty, she refused access during Somiya's celebration. The stranger, undeterred, prepared to act. Their patience gone, formalities dropped, the situation was turning dangerous. With a gesture, magic erupted, barriers shimmered and tension thickened. The stranger would force a meeting now. The door opened. Nozomu turned. Someone unexpected entered, claiming they had also prepared something important. Iris denied knowing the man. Tension grew. The old butler's presence wasn't part of the plan. Whispers spread. Nobles and servants exchanged glances, unsure why a stranger had breached a noble gathering. With perfect etiquette, the man bowed. "Lugato," he said, servant to a foreign noble, requesting audience. Iris formally objected. No name, no warning. His request, though polite, was an intrusion on trust. Lugato formally named his allegiance, servant of Wajart House, arriving uninvited with urgent diplomatic intent. He sought a legendary treasure, the Soul Flame Furnace. Once lent, now demanded back without delay or ceremony. Lugato revealed the Soul Flame Furnace, an ancient relic capable of stealing and controlling another's soul. Everyone froze as Lugato declared it fused with Somiya. Without hesitation, He reached to extract it. Iris and Nozomu rushed forward, alarmed. Lugato's spell had already begun with ominous energy rising fast. Magic burst violently. Nozomu sensed overwhelming force. He braced himself, warning others to flee the chamber. As smoke cleared, allies regrouped. Nozomu breathed heavily, shaken. Somiya's safety was still uncertain, tension rising. Nozomu analyzed the barrier's effect, realizing it hypnotized others while sealing the entire Franzchild estate. Lugato calmly explained that Somiya's soul must be removed to retrieve the soul flame furnace. He produced the original contract, proving the Franzchild family had agreed to this centuries-old magical exchange. The contract detailed the terms. Borrowed magic tools would be reclaimed using a summoned familiar and bracelet. Lugato declared Somiya's death was included in the terms, as soul removal meant complete bodily destruction. The contract activated. A terrifying skeletal familiar emerged, locking Somiya's bracelet and pulling her toward death. Lugato calmly confirmed the familiar's duty, to claim souls. Chains lunged for Somiya as panic filled Iris. Iris cast a dark element spell, binding the familiar in glowing chains to halt its deadly advance. As Iris rushed forward to strike, the familiar barely dodged, twisting through the flurry of black chains. The counterattack landed hard, sending Iris flying. Tima prepared her spell. Rushing in to join the desperate fight, Tima activated the four-circle sealing array surrounding the familiar in a magical net of elements. The binding spell intensified, locking the familiar in layers of swirling light, temporarily halting its advance. Lugato acknowledged the spell's precision, impressed by Iris's power, yet reminded them it only stalled danger briefly. Despite their efforts, Lugato acted calmly, releasing another attack, declaring that stopping the familiar wouldn't change the outcome. A blast struck Tima, mid-spell. Iris charged forward, narrowly dodging as her allies reeled from Lugato's assault. Lugato launched enchanted swords toward Iris, who swiftly dodged, using her agility to deflect the blades. Iris trembled as the familiar approached. Her voice echoed with fear, pain, and fragments of despairing thoughts. Iris realized that if Tima's spell broke, Somiya would die, forcing a painful decision to protect her. Tima reflected on her overwhelming powers and early fears, never knowing how to truly belong or help. She remembered Iris's kindness, how they met, how they bonded, and how Somiya became part of that light. Tima remembered Iris and Somiya as her guiding light and unleashed her spell with fierce resolve. Lugato praised her magic but noted the complexity, managing multiple types and spells strained even skilled users. Tima realized any movement would break her concentration, leaving her vulnerable, as Lugato prepared another strike. Before the blast hit, Mars lunged in, shielding her with sheer force, silencing the attack midair. Despite their differences, Mars stepped up. Nozomu, swordless, rushed off as ordered to retrieve their weapons. Iris tossed a key to Nozomu, directing him to the storage room, while continuing the fight. Facing Lugato, they realized his power rivaled legendary warriors. Defeating the summoned familiar required a new plan. Despite the odds, Mars encouraged the team. He assigned roles: protect Tima, strike hard, and don't hesitate. Nozomu ran, reflecting that Lugato's strength rivaled his master's, magic or sword. The battle seemed hopeless. Haunted by past defeats, Nozomu questioned everything. Could they win without him unlocking his hidden strength? Nozomu feared rejection if they saw his true power, afraid they'd label him a monster again. He clenched his teeth, cursed his fate, and ran faster, dreading the loneliness power might bring. Mars and Iris launched powerful attacks. Lugato responded, unleashing destructive magic that shook the battlefield violently. A brutal strike wounded Mars. Tima and Iris reacted immediately, faces etched with pain and determination. Tima launched one final spell with fierce resolve, declaring the battle's turning point, one that must succeed. She unleashed her final spell. Iris watched, frozen, as a massive explosion engulfed the enemy's form. Despite their efforts, Mars collapsed. The familiar advanced again, as Tima struggled to stay on her feet. Somiya remained trapped in chains. The familiar's hollow eyes locked onto her, ready to extract her soul. Iris evaded incoming attacks, eyes set on Somiya, dashing toward her as Lugato prepared another spell. Somiya whimpered in fear. Iris screamed her name and charged. Moments before the scythe struck its mark, with perfect timing, Nozomu charged in. His blade severed the contract, stunning Lugato, and the familiar Nozomu slashed with power and precision, cutting through the chains that bound Somiya with a single strike. The oath bracelet shattered, chains disintegrated. Somiya stared at Nozomu, realizing she'd been saved in time. Nozomu stood between Somiya and danger. Her stunned expression shifted from fear to hope and awe. Somiya whispered his name. Nozomu hesitated, eyes locked forward, quietly asking his late master what to do. Lugato stood raw, casting dust into the air. Nozomu stood firm, shielding Iris and Somiya. Without hesitation, Nozomu struck with precision. Lugato's remark hinted shock. The familiar fell in 2 blows. Mars and Tima, beaten and wounded, collapsed. Their bodies trembled, broken from a brutal, one-sided encounter. Nozomu arrived too late. Iris was cornered. He stared at Lugato, regretting his delay, preparing silently. Observing Mars and Tima fallen, Nozomu realized he was the only one left able to stand. Nozomu shattered the contract crystal with 1 strike. Realizing its connection to Somiya's soul was real, Lugato calmly revealed the familiar would revive endlessly, bound by the contract until Somiya's soul was taken. Conflicted and overwhelmed, Nozomu admitted his ignorance of noble legacies, only obeying orders, not questioning morality. Nozomu protested. The contract never demanded Somiya's sacrifice. Iris and Somiya were caught in injustice's web. Though separation was now impossible, Iris yelled defiantly, refusing to accept a fate forged without consent. Iris stepped forward, fury burning in her eyes. She refused to let Lugato claim Somiya's life. Nozomu admitted his limits. Despite his strength, Lugato was too powerful. He would need Iris's help. With firm resolve, they prepared to fight together. No other option remained. They chose to resist. Nozomu and Iris stood united. Lugato, unmoved, declared battle as the final test of strength. The room exploded with magical pressure. Flames surged, blades raised. The final battle had officially begun. Nozomu dashed forward, blade flashing. Lugato chanted, summoning layered magic circles to intercept the surprise strike. Iris unleashed her assault with ferocity. Each blow carved into the floor, forcing Lugato into evasive defense. Lugato retaliated sharply, steel clashing mid-air. Nozomu joined in, blades hammering from both sides in relentless coordination. Spotting imbalance in Lugato's form, Nozomu adjusted his stance, aiming to exploit the momentary lapse precisely. Their swords clashed again. Lugato praised Nozomu's skill, yet claimed superiority in swordplay with unwavering confidence. Nozomu activated body enhancement, strength surged through him. The difference in sword skill began to shrink, spells erupted violently. Lugato unleashed barrage after barrage, overwhelming their defenses with sheer magical versatility and control. Iris deflected with all her might. Blades collided. Sparks flew, pressure built. She refused to fall. Nozomu prepared another strike. Lugato summoned a new spell array. Gaze locked, ready to counter instantly. Suddenly, walls of force crashed down. Lugato's barrier shattered from Nozomu's charged attack. Shock registered instantly. Lugato invoked another spell mid-air. Nozomu and Iris screamed in unison, driving blades through the chaos. Both swords struck simultaneously. Lugato blocked them effortlessly, holding back their combined assault with sheer calm precision. Overwhelmed by Lugato's strength, they faltered. Each questioned how an old man wielded such monstrous power. An explosion forced distance between them. Exhausted, Nozomu and Iris panted, facing the still unshaken Lugato. Iris admitted her limit. One more strike remained. Nozomu nodded. Both stared forward, hearts heavy with resolve. She read Nozomu's silent lips. Even without words, their strategy passed between them instantly. A silent exchange of glances confirmed everything. Tension rose. They locked eyes, hiding fatigue. Their focus sharpened. Determined expressions settled in. They were ready to gamble everything on unity. Nozomu knelt, channeling strength. Iris stepped beside him, blades poised. She relied on him. Under fire, Nozomu charged. He admitted they lacked teamwork, but they had nothing else left. Iris launched Abyss Javelin, relying on calculated risk. Nozomu pushed forward under immense mental strain. Lugato analyzed their attack. Their timing was off. His superior versatility allowed him to counter instantly. As debris surged upward, Lugato realized the danger. Iris prepared her ultimate spell, Moonlight Eclipse, silently. Nozomu acted as decoy. Iris charged past him in a last attempt to strike decisively. After the impact, silence remained. Iris and Nozomu stared in disbelief. Lugato had vanished without a trace. Suddenly, a massive magical shield launched from the smoke, knocking Iris back with explosive force. Chains of dark magic erupted from the ground, capturing Nozomu and Iris mid-reaction, rendering them helpless. The enemy re-emerged, shrouded in bats. Nozomu recognized the aura. This wasn't human. It was a vampire. Lugato revealed his nature. Even a mithril sword wouldn't fully kill him unless struck precisely. He vanished through a corridor of light. Myths confirmed, vampires could transform into bats and disappear instantly. Lugato's origins as a vampire are revealed, capable of destroying towns, seducing rulers, and creating monsters. Iris struggles to break free, but even magic-enhanced strength can't outmatch Lugato's dark binding force. Nozomu regrets not acting sooner. If he had, his friends wouldn't be hurt and powerless now. The skeletal familiar moves to claim Somiya's soul. Nozomu watches, gripped by helpless guilt and fear. Iris screams in desperation, offering her soul instead. She begs for Somiya's life to be spared. Somiya was suspended mid-air, wrapped in chains. The skeletal hand reached forward, ready to take her. Her body collapsed lifelessly as flashbacks overwhelmed him. Memories surfaced, paralyzing his heart with helpless regret. Iris remembered the promise made at their mother's deathbed, to protect Somiya at all costs. Forever. With clenched fists, Nozomu rejected his past passivity. He vowed to fight, no matter the cost. Bleeding and broken, Iris pleaded with fate, offering everything: body, soul, life, just to save her sister. Fueled by desperation and rage, Nozomu broke the chains binding him, summoning strength buried deep within his soul. The sealed chamber shattered as Nozomu drew his sword, unleashing overwhelming energy that startled the surrounding observers. Mars, Tima, and Iris watched in shock, while Lugato sensed something ancient awakening within Nozomu's presence. From the heart of the flames, Nozomu emerged calmly, confronting Lugato, who questioned the power's origin. With unmatched speed, Nozomu lunged forward, his blade piercing the chaotic space between time, light, and death. The force struck Lugato's skeletal form, binding him within a sacred seal formed by intersecting radiant slashes. Nozomu knelt with Iris in his arms, exhausted, as smoke curled from the sealed demon's remains. Lugato rushed toward them, eyes wide, sensing something shifting in Nozomu that defied his expectations entirely. Mars, Tima, and Iris were speechless, realizing even they had underestimated the scale of Nozomu's rising strength. Wreathed in unnatural flames, Nozomu stood silently, his power now surpassing what any human should be able to wield. Lugato launched a barrage of spells, but Nozomu remained motionless, radiating energy that nullified every magical attack instantly. Nozomu charged through Lugato's explosive spell barrage, scattering debris and light as he advanced without hesitation. Lugato barely reacted before Nozomu struck, his speed blurred, and Lugato's defenses cracked from the relentless assault. He gritted his teeth as Nozomu's strength overwhelmed him, forcing him to brace under immense pressure. Lugato retreated and detonated a magical trap, sending Iris flying while creating distance between them again. Iris realized too late, Lugato had infused his retreat with explosive magic to destabilize Nozomu's position immediately. Lugato gathered massive magical energy, constructing a layered barrier in preparation for unleashing his most devastating spell. He invoked a forbidden incantation, the Maw of Moros, summoning a monstrous abyss to devour Nozomu whole. Without hesitation, Nozomu dashed forward, evading debris, drawing his blade to intercept the spell's collapsing perimeter. Lugato launched another flurry of attacks, but Nozomu weaved through them, striking with blade and counterforce simultaneously. Their fierce exchange escalated. Blades clashed in a storm of sparks until Nozomu landed a critical blow. Lugato braced as Nozomu's strikes intensified. He realized being pinned would lead to complete defeat. Summoning a swarm of void-like tendrils, Lugato launched a twisted spell to halt Nozomu's relentless advance. Nozomu swung through the writhing chaos, clearing a path as shadows closed in from every direction. Amidst the darkness, Nozomu ignited his power again, focusing all energy into a single concentrated attack. The explosion shattered the ground. Lugato screamed, retreating as bat-like spirits scattered into the smoke-filled battlefield. Nozomu stood firm as the smoke cleared, while Lugato stared in disbelief, bloodied and breathing heavily. Nozomu's blade pulsed with residual power, his body tensed, aware this might be the final confrontation. Channeling his remaining strength, Nozomu unleashed Phantom Blade, slicing through space itself to shatter Lugato's final defense. Lugato collapsed, defeated, as Nozomu rushed to Somiya's side, gasping, her body motionless in the dust. Blood dripped from Nozomu's hand. He realized Taimat's power had ravaged him, as Somiya weakly stirred. Somiya coughed weakly, waking in Iris's arms. Relief flooded everyone as tears replaced their desperation. Lugato lay dying, revealing his vampire nature. Nozomu listened cautiously, blade steady, and expression unreadable. Lugato explained the sword lacked mithril, the only metal capable of ending a vampire permanently. Despite his own defeat, Lugato accepted the outcome calmly, requesting Nozomu ensure Somiya's protection. With dark flames fading, Nozomu stood over Lugato's fallen form, victorious, solemn, and bound to Somiya's future. As Nozomu staggered forward, the group called out in panic, his body collapsing from sheer exhaustion. Suddenly, in a shattered wasteland, Nozomu stood before a wounded black dragon, eyes locked in recognition, heart pounding. Nozomu realized the dragon was familiar, its aura identical to the power inside his soul. The dragon roared and charged. Nozomu reached out instinctively, just before darkness swallowed everything in a violent spiral. Awakening in bed, Nozomu gasped for air. Somiya and Iris entered smiling, as if nothing had happened. Nozomu awoke, confused. Iris explained. He'd collapsed half a day ago, after Lugato severed Somiya's contract. Tima and Mars had recovered, while Iris planned to reveal the secret pact with the Wajart family. 3 centuries earlier, war devastated Forsena Kingdom, forcing desperate alliances, including soul-forging pacts with the Desert Empire. The Francechild Patriarch agreed to the pact's 300-year duration, fearing the shadow magic's return from exile. Even the Wajart leader now admitted, separating Somiya's soul from the soul flame furnace was impossible. Somiya revealed her mother used the soul flame furnace to save her premature life at great cost. Somiya and Iris offered sincere gratitude to everyone, especially Nozomu, for risking everything to protect them. Mars questioned Nozomu's immense power during the final battle, suspecting there was more than he'd admitted. He remembered sensing something strange in Nozomu before. Unlike any classmate, his strength was hidden, but overwhelming. Nozomu confessed his ability suppression had been lifted. Now he struggled daily to contain unstable, unrestrained power. He hesitated. Holding back his truth, the power he used came from being a dragon slayer. Then Nozomu handed Somiya a handmade bell, late for her birthday, a symbol of his quiet protection. Somiya smiled joyfully. Showing the bell, Nozomu finally felt peace, knowing he saved what truly mattered.